Close your eyes. If that feels safe, let the breath come in, softly, as if the body is remembering how to trust again. Let the breath leave, without trying to take anything with it. You are here. Not perfect, not broken, just here. Sometimes it's after the storm passes, when the sky is still heavy and the earth is soaked, that we feel the most tender and the most real. Let us enter one such moment now. The crying had stopped, not because it was over, but because it had said what it needed to say. Trinh sat quietly on the edge of the bed. Her breath was uneven, but slower now. Her chest still ached, but the sharp edges had softened. Her eyes burned, not from pain, but from the salt of truth released. She wiped her cheeks slowly with the sleeve of her sweater. It left a damp trail, but she didn't mind. The room was dim. Outside, it was early evening, but the clouds made it feel later. She stood. Her body felt heavy, but rooted, like the ground after a long rain. She walked to the kitchen. No music played. No phone buzzed. Just the quiet rhythm of her feet across the floor. She reached for a glass. Clear, simple, familiar. Her fingers lingered on it for a moment, before turning toward the sink. The faucet squeaked gently as she lifted the handle. Water flowed, cool, steady, indifferent. She watched it fill the glass, noticed how it swirled, how the light bent through it, how ordinary it all was, and yet, how necessary. She turned off the tap, held the glass in both hands, and paused. For the first time in hours, and she realized she was thirsty. She brought it to her lips. The water was cold and soothing. It didn't fix anything, but it reminded her she was still here, still breathing, still alive, still able to care for herself. In this small, sacred way, she drank slowly, let each sip travel down, cooling the raw places inside her. When the glass was empty, she stood for a moment longer, not ready to move, but not needing to. The silence wasn't lonely. It was full, a kind of fullness that only comes after letting go. Sometimes healing doesn't arrive in great revelations, or wise words, or someone holding your hand. Sometimes it arrives in the form of cool water, held between two trembling palms, in the quiet between sobs, in the stillness after surrender. To cry is to let truth leave the body. To drink is to welcome yourself back in. So if you've wept today, for love, for loss, for reasons unnamed, and know this, you are not broken. You are unfolding. And the glass in your hand, held with care, is proof that you still belong to yourself. Close your eyes if it feels safe. Let the breath arrive, like dusk, unhurried, unfolding. Let your body rest. Let your thoughts soften. Let the silence around you become a room you can step into. Now imagine this. It's late. The world is quiet. And from somewhere far away, the train begins to pass. Not near enough to disturb, if just close enough to remind you that life is always gently moving. The house was still. No lights on but one in the hallway. No screens. No footsteps. Only the rhythm of a slow breath beneath a soft blanket. Riley lay awake, not anxious, just present. There was something about this hour, after the noise is gone, but before sleep fully arrives, that felt like truth. Outside the window, the trees swayed only slightly in the dark. Clouds hung low, and the world seemed paused. Not frozen, just listening. Then, from far in the distance, the sound came. The train. It didn't blare. It hummed. Long, low, like a note played just beneath consciousness. Riley didn't move, only listened. The sound rolled in slowly, not loud enough to be known, but familiar enough to be felt. A memory stirred. Childhood, maybe. Or just the comfort of knowing that something, somewhere, was on its way. The whistle came next, soft, stretching, as if the wind itself had been called to sing. It passed through her body like a thread, pulling her inward, anchoring her deeper into the now. She imagined the train moving through empty land, lights flickering past silent fields. People inside, maybe, or maybe not. The thought didn't need an ending. It just floated. The train's sound faded. First the wheels, then the horn, then nothing. My silence returned, but not the same silence. It was fuller now, wider, like the sound had left a gentle imprint across the room. Riley exhaled, closed her eyes, and let the stillness take her back. Sometimes the most distant sounds are the ones that bring us closest to ourselves. A train in the night, a sound just passing through, and yet it moves something, not because it asks to be heard, but because we are quiet enough to listen. So the next time the night is still, and you hear that long, low song from far away, don't reach for distraction. Don't turn it down. Let it move through you. Let it remind you, even in stillness, the world is alive, and so are you. In a world that often rushes forward, let us pause for a moment, turning inward to the gentle rhythm of our breath. Feel it rise and fall like a calm wave lapping at the shore of your mind. Notice the air entering your body, cool and refreshing, and then the warm sigh as you release it, allowing the weight of the day to soften. As you settle into this moment, allow yourself to embrace the ordinary, the everyday, this simple act of being here, now. The sun is just beginning to dip below the horizon, casting warm golden light through the window. The late afternoon offers a soothing embrace, whispering through the leaves of a nearby tree, their gentle rustling like a distant conversation. You find yourself standing at the dining table, where a basket filled with freshly laundered clothes waits patiently for your attention. You take a deep breath, the scent of warm cotton filling the air, a reminder of the sun's embrace and the familiarity of home. With a soft thud, you place the basket on the table and let your fingers rest on its rim, feeling the slight coolness of the plastic beneath your touch. In this moment, just being here is enough. As your hands rummage through the contents, you pull out a shirt soft and crumpled, still holding the residual warmth of the dryer. You pause, momentarily lost in its texture, the way the fabric feels against your fingertips. There's a subtle comfort in the fibers, a bridge connecting you to the countless moments it has held against your skin, each thread woven with the stories of daily life. You take a moment to recall where this shirt has been. The picnic in the park, the evening stroll under the stars, the cozy mornings wrapped in the gentleness of routine. Each memory dances in the corners of your mind as you begin to fold, smoothing out the wrinkles with deliberate care. You lay it down on the table, bringing your awareness to the act. Inhale, feeling the cool air fill your lungs. Exhale, letting go of any tension lingering in your shoulders. Folding the shirt becomes a meditation, a movement imbued with intention. You fold one side over, then the other, allowing the fabric to come together, as if embracing itself, hiding away the chaos of the day. Next, you lift a pair of jeans denim that has weathered its share of adventures. The fabric is sturdy, textured beneath your fingers. The sound of the material moving against itself fills the space around you, a quiet rustling amidst the stillness of the room. As you fold the jeans, you think of the trails they have traversed, the places they have danced under moonlit skies, the laughter shared over coffee spills and playful moments. Each fold becomes a journey, grounding you further in the present. You feel the weight of the jeans resting lightly in your hands, the rhythm of your breath synchronizing with the task. In this simple act lies a deeper understanding, a reminder that every moment holds the potential for connection, for mindfulness, if only we allow ourselves to engage fully. As you continue, you reach for a soft blanket, its warmth comforting even in the absence of a chill. The fibers are like clouds against your fingertips, and as you fold it, You can almost feel the embraces it has given, the blanket wrapping around loved ones, cocooning them in warmth. You can hear the distant laughter, the soft murmurs of whispered stories shared beneath its weight, and it fills your heart with a sense of belonging. Time seems to slow, each item folded patiently, revealing its essence, a dance of fabric and memory. The world outside continues its din, but in this sacred corner of your home, there is only peace. As you fold a colorful tea towel, the vibrant patterns evoking memories of shared meals, laughter echoing across the table, you acknowledge the beauty of simplicity. The light shifts slightly, casting long shadows that stretch across the table as you near the end of your task. You notice your mind drifting, thoughts of to-do lists, fleeting fears, and worries lapping at the edges of your consciousness like waves against a shore. With each fold, you let go, allowing these thoughts to ebb away, making space for serenity. You pause, the last item in your hands, a small dress, bright and cheerful, with tiny flowers dancing against the fabric's surface. You can picture the little one who wears it, spinning around, laughter erupting like music in the air. Folding this garment, you handle it with care, reminding yourself of the fleeting nature of childhood, the delicate magic of growing up. Time seems to hold its breath as you contemplate the beauty of every stage of life, each moment worthy of being cherished, just like this dress. With all the laundry folded and neatly stacked in the basket, you take a moment to observe your handiwork. The inviting sight of an organized space fills you with a gentle satisfaction, a quiet pride in savoring the ordinary. You notice how each piece, each simple item of clothing contributes to a larger tapestry of your life, weaving in connections, memories, and experiences, binding you to the present moment. And as you gently place the neatly folded basket aside, you shift your attention to the way your body feels, grounded, alert, and complete. The warmth of the fading sun wraps around you, a whisper of gratitude flowing through your heart. In folding laundry, you have discovered not just the art of organizing fabric, but a deeper practice of being, of noticing, of connecting, allowing the quiet moments to weave themselves into the greater fabric of your life. As the day gives way to dusk, carry this stillness with you, remembering that each pause, each breath, holds the promise of renewal. With every simple act, such as folding a shirt or a blanket, you can return to the present, where life unfolds gently, one moment at a time. Breathe in, as if you were curling up inside a familiar room. Breathe out, as if that room were breathing with you. You don't need to fix anything right now. You don't need to be alone to feel stillness. Some of the most peaceful moments arrive when we simply sit beside a being who is already at peace. Now imagine this. You're sitting quietly. No screens, no noise, just you and a pet resting softly at your side. The afternoon had slowed. Light fell across the floor in long golden lines, and the hum of the day began to fade into stillness. Mira sat on the edge of the couch, a blanket across her legs, and her dog curled beside her, his chest rising and falling. With the ease of someone who trusts completely, she didn't pet him. Not at first. She just sat, still, breathing, aware. The weight of his body pressed gently against her thigh. A grounding presence, quiet warmth. He shifted once, let out a small sigh, the kind that comes not from stress, but from total surrender to the moment. Her hand moved slowly, settling on the soft fur behind his ears. She didn't stroke. She just rested there, felt the warmth, felt the pulse, felt the unspoken yes, between two bodies at ease. Outside, a bird chirped once, then stopped. A breeze lifted the curtain slightly. The world continued. But inside, in this small pocket of breath and fur and quiet, a thing more was needed. No words, no plans, no roles, just two beings, co-regulating, coexisting, co-healing. Her breath matched his, slow and gentle. And for the first time all day, she realized she wasn't trying to be anything. She was simply being, and that was enough. Some moments of connection don't arrive through conversation, or effort, or even thought. They arrive in the weight of a body leaning into yours, in the rhythm of two chests rising and falling, in the peace that comes when no one needs you to be anything. But here, your pet doesn't care about your to-do list. They care that you're present, still, soft, real. So the next time they curl beside you, don't move too quickly. Don't reach for your phone. Just sit. Let the quiet stretch. Let the stillness deepen. And remember what it feels like to be loved without having to say a word. In the gentle folds of the morning, as the light begins to drape itself tenderly over the waking world, take a moment to breathe. Let your breath come in slowly, like the soft rise of a tide, and with each exhale, imagine the waves receding back into the vastness of the ocean. This breath, this moment, is yours. It is a quiet invitation to join the world in its slow dance. Listen to the whispers of the day waking around you, the gentle hum of existence that cradles each thought and feeling. With each breath, find yourself anchored in the present, a still point amidst the flow of life. On a warm Saturday morning, a woman named Eleanor stood before her kitchen sink. The remnants of yesterday's meals reflected lightly in the warm sunlight filtering through the window. The dishes were stacked in a lazy tower, porcelain and glass glittering under the sun's touch, like a small sculpture waiting for its artist. As she filled the sink with warm water, the steam curled around her fingertips, wrapping them in a gentle embrace. She watched the bubbles form, small orbs of joy that floated and danced, reflecting the light like tiny prisms. Each bubble seemed to whisper promises of clarity and freshness. With a deep, nourishing breath, Eleanor let her attention drift to the sensation of the warm water flowing over her hands. It enveloped her fingers, soft, soothing, a reminder of the simple pleasures life offers if one only pauses to notice. With the first plate in her hand, Eleanor felt the cool ceramic against her skin, its form familiar and grounding. The smooth surface was cool, and she allowed herself a moment to appreciate the existence of this mundane object. Not just a plate, but a vessel that held meals shared with laughter, conversations that sometimes lingered long past the sunset, and quiet moments of reflection, just like this. As she began to scrub, the gentle sound of the sponge against the plate created a rhythm, a mantra that pulsed in sync with her breath. She could hear the soft squelch of the soapy water, a delicate song in its own right, the scent of lemon and lavender mixed in the air, an uplifting fragrance that danced with the morning light. With every circle she traced across the surface of the plate, Eleanor noticed the gradual shift. Her mind, often cluttered with the to-dos of life, began to quieten. Thoughts fluttered towards her like leaves in the wind, reminders of a meeting next week, the groceries that needed to be purchased, but rather than clutching at them, she watched as they glided past. A soft smile touched her lips as she reminded herself, here and now, in this kitchen, with this plate, was where she was meant to be. As the plates transformed from grimy to gleaming, Eleanor began to notice more than just the act of washing. She felt the pulse of life within this humble space. The sunlight filtering in painted shadows across the countertop, a gentle ballet of light that fluctuated with the passing clouds outside. The warmth of the day began to seep into her skin, a connection to the world that lay just beyond her small kitchen. The rhythmic splash of the water became her heartbeat, an echo of the life that thrummed within the walls of her home. She paused for a moment, allowing her gaze to linger on the window, where a small bird perched on the branch of a nearby tree, its feathers sun-kissed and soft. The bird chirped, a bright note soaring through the air, a reminder that life is filled with moments of beauty and vitality, often hidden right under the surface of routine. One by one, Eleanor cleaned each dish, and with each one, she felt a sense of lightness wash over her. The fine china, the everyday mugs, the sturdy pencil of them told stories, memories encapsulated in their shapes and surfaces. Each time she placed a freshly cleaned dish onto the drying rack, it felt like an offering to the day, a small benediction of gratitude for the nourishment it provided. With her hands now pruned and the last plate washed, Eleanor stepped back and surveyed her work. The kitchen sang with a sense of achievement, walls reflecting the stillness she had cultivated within herself. She took a moment to breathe deeply, savoring the tranquility that bloomed in the aftermath of her task. Beyond the window, the world flitted by, cars moving slowly, people going about their morning rituals. Eleanor stood, enveloped in her bubble of stillness, as she admired the beauty of the lives intersecting outside. She was both a part of this world and separate from it, rooted firmly in her kitchen, yet connected to the tapestry of existence beyond her threshold. In that moment of reflection, Eleanor realized that the act of washing dishes was more than an obligation. It was an opportunity to return to herself. Life had a way of pushing forward, filled with responsibilities and distractions. But in these simple acts, like washing dishes, one could find an oasis of calm amidst the chaos. Through the movement of her hands, she discovered acceptance of the thoughts that might come and go, acceptance of the day ahead with all its uncertainties. She felt the ground beneath her feet, solid and reassuring, reminding her that even in the swirling currents of life, she could find her center, her stillness. With a final glance out the window, she smiled at the busy world beyond. Invigorated, she uncorked her sense of presence, ready to step into the day with a heart open to whatever its waves may bring, trusting that she could navigate them with grace. As Eleanor turned to leave the kitchen, she carried with her a quiet joy, a peace that arose not from the completion of any task, but from the arrival at this moment, the richness of presence found in the simplest of experiences. Just like the stillness between waves, there is always a space to return to, a buoyancy in our being that invites us to breathe, to be, to simply exist. And in this space, we discover that life's essence is always present, waiting to be cherished in the folds of each passing moment. Let yourself slow down. The day is done. Its noise has softened. Its urgency has dissolved. You don't need to carry what's behind you any further. Feel your breath settle. Feel your spine gently loosen. And allow the body, this beautiful, tired body, to arrive at the edge of rest. Now imagine yourself standing beside your bed. The sheets are waiting, and so is your own presence. It was late. Not too late. Just the kind of late where the world had begun to dim itself. Lamb stood beside her bed, a bare foot on the cool tile floor. The fan spun slowly above her, whispering in even rhythms. She'd just washed her bed sheets that morning. They hung dry under the sun all day, now folded neatly in a basket, warm from the air. They carried the scent of sunshine, clean cotton, and something soft she couldn't name. She placed the fitted sheet on the mattress, one corner at a time. The fabric snapped lightly as she stretched it. A small puff of air rose up the air that had lived inside the folds all day. She smoothed the fabric with her palms, felt the tiny ridges from the weave, noticed the way her hands moved, and no longer rushing like they had hours earlier. The top sheet came next. She unfurled it like a soft flag, letting it float and land. There was a moment of stillness as the sheet hovered before touching down, a silent pause between air and surface. Lamb tucked the corners gently, folded them like she was tucking in a child, or maybe an old version of herself. She moved slowly around the bed, her movements circular, free vineyard. The day's tension began to leave her shoulders, slipping quietly into the linen beneath her hands. She placed the pillows down, fluffed them softly, not to impress, but to care. The room was dim, lit only by a small bedside lamp. Shadows stretched across the floor like long, slow exhalations. She stood for a moment, looking at what she had made. Not just a bed, but a space of return, of rest, of coming home to herself. Her breath deepened. Her heartbeat quieted. She pulled back the covers, slid in slowly, and let the bed hold her. We spend so much of our lives doing, moving, achieving. But sometimes, the most healing thing we can do is prepare a space for our own stillness. To smooth a sheet with presence. To arrange a pillow with care. To lie down with nothing to prove, and everything to receive. Your bed does not ask who you've become today. It simply opens and welcomes you back. So tuck in the quiet. Let the breath deepen. Let the day unravel, crease by crease, until all that's left is this: a body held, a moment whole, a heart resting. As we start this journey together, let us take a moment to center ourselves in the here and now. Find a comfortable position wherever you may be, perhaps seated on a chair or resting against a soft cushion. Gently close your eyes if you wish, or soften your gaze as you bring your awareness to your breath. Notice the rise and fall, the gentle ebb and flow, inviting this rhythm to anchor you in the present moment. Allow any cares or distractions to fade into the background like whispers carried on the breeze. In this space, we will explore the beauty and simplicity of an ordinary experience, embracing the richness of now. In a sunlit kitchen, filled with the morning's warmth, a gentle hum arises. It is the sound of the world-waking birds chirping outside, a soft rustle of leaves caressed by a tender breeze, and the distant laughter of children playing. Standing at the sink, a figure begins the quiet work of washing dishes, transforming a mundane chore into a mindful ceremony. Each dish, each cup, a symbol of nourishment. Every fork, every spoon, a token of shared moments around the table. The water runs, crystalline and clear, sparkling as it cascades like a soft mountain stream, reflecting the morning light. The figure breathes deeply, allowing the coolness of the air to fill the lungs, embracing the present. As hands dip into the warm, soapy water, the sensation envelops them, a gentle caress against the skin, alive and tingly, stirring a consciousness of touch. One by one, the dishes emerge from their resting places, pulled from the drying rack and cradled in soft palms. There is a plate that holds the memory of pancakes, their golden warmth still echoing on its surface. The figure takes a moment to gaze at it, tracing the rim with a finger, feeling the remnants of kindness and sustenance. Mindfully, they place it under the stream, watching as the soap bubbles rise and twirl, as if dancing in celebration of the moment. "Here I am," whispers the figure to the plate, part of the continuum of love and care. The soap envelops the plate, creating a rich lather that looks like clouds hovering in a gentle sky. Each stroke of the sponge is deliberate, a small ritual back and forth with grace, a gentle reminder of the pleasure found in simple acts. The rhythm becomes hypnotic, echoing the heartbeat of life itself. Sounds around the kitchen fill the air, a faint clinking of cutlery, the gentle swish of water, the faint rustle of the dishcloth brushing against wet ceramic. Each sound stitches a tapestry of the ordinary, weaving it into a whole that feels extraordinary in its texture. Every dish cleaned is a small sigh of relief, a letting go of what is no longer needed, surrendering to the flow of the water as it carries away remnants of yesterday's meals. A moment arrives when thoughts drift in, like leaves floating past on a stream. What will I do today? Did I remember to send that email? Each thought is a little cloud that passes overhead, briefly casting a shadow. The figure acknowledges these clouds without judgment, nodding gently to them and allowing them to float away, returning focus to the touch of the sponge and the warm embrace of the water. A careful rinse reveals the clarity of the plate, its surface now gleaming with a sense of renewal, as if it has been reborn. The eyes reflect a quiet joy in the rhythm, in the present, cherishing each dish for what it is, a piece of life, a vessel of memory, held with gratitude. The figure places it in the drying rack, carefully arranging it for balance, as if giving it space to breathe, to rest, without care or worry. Each subsequent dish follows this gentle rhythm: a bowl that cradled a hearty soup, a mug that held morning tea, each one deserving of love and attention. The sink has become a sanctuary of presence, a grounding base of stillness amidst the hustle and bustle of the outside world. As the gentle motions continue, warmth envelops the figure, a soft embrace of gratitude for hands that serve, whether washing, cooking, or nurturing. Outside the window, the sun rises higher, casting vibrant hues across the kitchen walls. Shadows dance and play, marking time in their own soft way, while the figure remains steady at the sink, deeply engaged in this fluid conversation with the dishes, with the water, with the moment. There is no rush, no urge to finish, or seek solace in the next task at hand. In this sanctuary, nothing needs to be done, but to be. The sensations reach deeper as the hands grow weary but joyful, slippery surfaces turning soft under the touch. The heat of the water seeps into the restless spirit, infusing it with calm and stillness. Each breath draws air laced with the scent of lemon soap, a reminder of the fruitful intertwining of nature and humankind. As the last dish, a cherished mug marked by 1,000 mornings, finds its place among its companions, a subtle peace settles over the feeling of accomplishment. The kitchen is now a harmonious blend of clean dishes, sunlight, and the quiet heartbeat of a world coming alive. The figure pauses, standing still, embers of warmth glimmering within. The eyes soften with the realization washing dishes is much more than an act. It is a practice of presence, a creation of space for oneself, and for those who share moments around the table. It becomes evident that mindfulness is disguised in these everyday acts, waiting for us to notice. As the last droplets of water slip away, the figure turns off the tap and stands in the morning light, fully present, alive to the gentle unfolding of now. There, in the sanctuary of the kitchen, the world outside continues its dance, while within, a stillness lingers. Standing in the center of this moment, they embrace the insight that every simple act carries the invitation to cultivate presence. And as the heart beats softly within, they remain entwined in the quiet symphony that life offers, rich, vibrant, and alive in every breath. Let the breath arrive like heat rising off soft fabric. Gentle, steady, without effort. Let your jaw loosen. Let your hands relax. Let your mind settle, not into silence, but into softness. Now imagine this. You open the dryer, and in your arms, is a towel, still holding the warmth of motion and time. You don't rush to fold it. You simply hold it, and feel. The dryer buzzed once, then stopped. The hum faded. The room went quiet, and for a moment, everything felt still, like the end of a long sentence. Jordan walked over, opened the door slowly. Warmth spilled out, ours like the last breath of a sunlit afternoon. Inside, a towel lay folded on itself, creased by heat and motion, carrying with it the scent of fabric and firelight. She reached in, both hands, and pulled it close. It was warm, not hot, edges not sharp, but whole. She didn't fold it, didn't put it away. She just stood there, in the laundry room, cradling the towel, like something sacred. The fibers were still soft from spinning. The warmth hugged her forearms. She buried her face in it briefly, not to smell, but to disappear. In that quiet moment, she wasn't a schedule. She wasn't a list. She wasn't even a name. She was just skin, a touch, a presence. She felt her shoulders drop, her breath lengthen, her heartbeat slow. The towel held no opinion, no demand. It simply gave, and she received. Fully. The comfort was not in what the towel was, but in how fully she let herself feel it. She stood there for a long time, doing nothing, but being with warmth. And somehow, that was enough. We often seek comfort in answers, solutions, as explanations. But sometimes, the comfort is simply warmth that asks for nothing. A towel from the dryer. A breath that doesn't rush. A body saying, "This feels good." You don't have to deserve softness. You don't have to earn it. You just have to let it reach you. And in receiving, you return to yourself. So next time the dryer buzzes, don't move too quickly. Don't fold too fast. Pick up the towel. Hold it. Let it hold you. And remember, you are allowed to pause for warmth. Take a breath. Let it slow on its own. Body settle. We're not into sleep, but into stillness. No need to reach for rest. No need to force silence. Now imagine this. You've just turned off the light. The room is dark. You're lying in bed, and your eyes are still open. The world has stopped asking. And finally, you can just be. The room exhaled as the switch clicked. A soft sound, barely louder than a whisper, but final in its own way. The light was gone, and with it, the outlines of familiar objects. The bookshelf, the chair, and the shoes left just slightly askew on the floor. Ellis lay on his back, the covers drawn up to his chest. The ceiling now a canvas of shadow. His eyes stayed open, not because he couldn't sleep, but because he didn't need to yet. There was something comforting about the first few minutes after lights out. The moment before dreams, before drifting, before the body lets go completely. The dark wasn't heavy. It was gentle, like a warm cloth placed softly over the senses. Outside the window, he could hear night sounds. A passing car in the distance, the faint rustle of wind against the house, maybe even an owl, and if he let his ears stretch wide enough. Inside, everything was still. No movement, no effort, just the slow rhythm of breath, and the faint hum of life continuing. His thoughts came like soft waves, not crashing, but just arriving. Something that happened earlier. A memory, half faded. The feeling of the pillow beneath his head. The weight of his own body, as if the bed was remembering him. He didn't fight the thoughts, didn't organize them, just watched them. It was like watching clouds pass across a night sky he couldn't see. Eventually, his eyes closed. Not from will, but from trust. And in the space between darkness and dreaming, he felt it. A moment of complete being. Not asleep, not awake, just here. There is a space that lives just after the lights go out. Not a space where you no longer perform, where the world no longer watches, and where you can simply return to yourself. To lie in the dark, matured with eyes open, honest to remember that rest begins not with sleep, but with surrender. No screens, no tasks, no fixing, just breath, not just stillness, just darkness, not as absence, but as a quiet presence that asks nothing, plans and accepts everything. So the next time the lights go out, don't rush to close your eyes. Let the dark hold you. Let your body speak. And let the night begin. Not with an ending, but with presence. As you settle into this moment, take a soft, gentle breath. Feel the air cradle your lungs, filling you with a warm sense of stillness. Notice the subtle rise and fall of your chest, the rhythm of your body, a quiet pulse of existence. Each breath brings you deeper into now, a refuge where thoughts drift like clouds, momentary, fleeting. Allow any distractions to soften, dissolving into the background. As you prepare to immerse yourself in a gentle story, a quiet journey through the commonplace, illuminated by mindfulness. In the early light of dawn, the world whispered itself awake, an unhurried mix of sounds that intertwined like threads of a well-woven tapestry. The chirping of birds flitted through the air, punctuating the soft rustle of leaves with a kind of joy only found in the heart of nature. It was here, amidst the awakening of day, that Lily found herself seated comfortably on her porch, a steaming cup of tea cradled delicately between her hands. As she sipped, the warmth traveled from her fingers to her core, spreading a gentle glow through her being. The steam curled upward, spiraling and dissipating into the cool morning air, a fleeting dance that mirrored her thoughts, momentary and ever-changing. She settled into the sensations of the morning, each note harmonizing in a symphony of simplicity. Lily shifted her gaze to the garden, where dewdrops clung to the edges of leaves, sparkling like tiny jewels as the sun began to rise. In that moment, beneath the gentle illumination, she felt an invitation to observe, to engage, to truly be. With careful intention, Lily set her cup down beside her and stood, her feet grounding softly against the cool wooden planks beneath her. The serenity beckoned her toward the garden, a quiet oasis that had flourished under her care. Each step was a meditation, the crunch of gravel beneath her feet marking her presence in the moment. Sunlight poured through the trees like golden honey, imbuing everything it touched with warmth. As she moved among the blooms, each flower bore witness to her presence. The vivid colors flickered in and out of focus, alive with energy. She kneeled beside a delicate patch of violets, their fragrance wafting around her, rich and sweet, a reminder of the beauty of simplicity. With tender hands, she brushed the soft petals, feeling the coolness of the morning dew. In that gentle touch, a sense of connection unfolded, a unity with the earth and the vibrant life surrounding her. Lily began to pull the weeds, each tug a moment of contemplation, each root a story waiting to be unearthed. As she worked, a distance gave way to closeness, the tangy scent of the soil wafted up to greet her, a reminder of the resilience buried beneath the surface. Focused and present, she felt the rhythm of breath synchronize with the earth, each pull a deliberate act of care, a step toward maintaining harmony. Every weed that found its way into her trowel became a reminder of impermanence, of growth, and of the complexities intertwined within existence. Thoughts ebbed and flowed like the gentle breeze that kissed her cheeks, weaving into her awareness without judgment, simply passing. The gentle hum of bees carried sweet sounds as they danced among the blooms, a celebration of devotion and labor. A cloud temporarily veiled the sun, casting a cool shadow across her shoulders. Lily paused to take it in, the moment enriching her experience rather than pulling her away from it. The shade was a moment of reflection, a reminder that even in the brilliance of sunshine, there are moments of stillness to be welcomed. She leaned back on her heels, closing her eyes to the sounds of life surrounding her, the rustle of wind through the trees, the distant chatter of a neighbor, the rhythmic chirping that filled the air with melodies. In this pause, she felt the softness of the earth beneath her hands, the warmth of the sun painting her face again, and the delicate weave of sound that wrapped around her like a quilt. Each note reminded her that she was a part of something larger. Each breath whispered the connection that bound her to all that was, to nature, to humanity, to the heartbeat of existence. Then, with renewed energy and focus, she continued her task, cultivating not just the garden, but a nurturing space within herself. The feelings of stress and distraction, which often came to visit in the bustle of daily life, fell away like dried leaves, swept aside by the current of her present awareness. She poured love into the soil, letting her gratitude blossom alongside the flowers. As the morning progressed, the sun rose higher, warming the earth, coaxing vibrant new life from beneath the surface. The colors burst forth, reds, yellows, purples, and blues, celebrating the day in their own unique way, and Lily felt alive among them. In that vibrant display, she found a mirror reflecting her own sense of being. Her work became a dance of focus and appreciation. She moved with deliberation, her heart full, her mind quiet, enveloped in the beauty of creation. Each pluck of a weed resonated with the acknowledgement of what needed to be removed to make space for growth and renewal. There was a relief in this understanding, a sense of purpose echoing in the acts of nurturing both the earth and herself. With a final touch, she stood, stepping back to admire her handiwork. Each row of blossoms stood proud, untamed beauty sculpted by her care. A rush of clarity washed over her, and she understood life was not about the hurried pursuit of a destination, but rather the journey along the way. The intimate dance of presence threaded with gratitude for each moment unfurling before her. A soft breeze swept through the garden, carrying the gentle scent of flowers as the finishing touch to her awakening. Lily felt a smile bloom within her, unfurling like the petals of her garden. There was a quiet understanding, a simple acknowledgement: life, like her garden, is an ever-evolving tapestry, best tended with mindfulness, patience, and love. As the sun reached its zenith, her heart brimmed with a sense of fulfillment. She retreated to her porch once more, sinking into the familiar embrace of the chair, tea now cold beside her. And yet, even without the warmth of its brew, a warmth resided within. The deep hum of being present washed over her, quiet yet profound. In the quietude of that still, sunlit day, Lily realized every moment holds the essence of nurturing, both for the world around us and for ourselves. As she gathered her thoughts and sipped her now cool tea, the garden outside thrummed with life, a gentle reminder of the sacred nature of the everyday. The silence of still water ripples outward, and in that endless cycle, she discovered serenity alive in the heart of the present. Before the story begins, pause. Feel the shape of your breath as it enters and as it leaves. There's no need to rush. The world can wait a moment longer. Wherever you are, let your awareness soften. Notice the space around you, the sounds, the light, the stillness underneath it all. This is a moment of arrival, not to a destination out there, but to the gentle truth already within. And now the story unfolds, not in a faraway land, but at a street corner, where time, traffic, and breath all intersect. It was a Tuesday morning, the kind that carries no expectation. James was driving through the city, had his mind already miles ahead. Deadlines, emails, the call he hadn't returned. He wasn't late, but he felt behind. Then, the light turned red. He exhaled sharply, the kind of sigh that's not quite a complaint, but not quite acceptance either. The car stopped. The world didn't. Around him, people crossed the street. An old man with a cane. A woman pushing a stroller. A teenager with earbuds, moving to a rhythm only he could hear. James tapped the steering wheel, then stopped. There was nowhere to go. Nothing to fix. Just a red light, and a moment he hadn't asked for. He looked out the windshield, noticed the way sunlight hit the cracked pavement, the shimmer of oil on the road, like a thin rainbow barely holding together. A breeze passed through the open window. It carried the scent of fresh bread, a bakery nearby, maybe? He hadn't smelled it before. Maybe it was always there. Maybe he had simply never stopped long enough to notice. He watched a leaf tumble across the crosswalk. Not hurried, not confused. Just moving, carried, not chasing. James rested both hands gently on the wheel. Felt the smoothness of the leather, the warmth from the sun on his left hand. He noticed his breath again, not by choice, but because it was the only thing moving now. Inhale, exhale. Not long, just enough. Enough to remember that being here, truly here, was its own kind of progress. The light turned green, but something in him didn't rush. He pressed the pedal slowly, not to resist time, but to stay in rhythm with it. Sometimes, life asks us to stop, not to delay, but to remember that stillness isn't wasted, that red lights are not interruptions, but invitations to breathe, to arrive, to meet ourselves again. In the middle of the day, in the middle of the city, in the middle of everything. And when the light turns green, eyes you move, but you carry the stillness with you, not behind, but within. So if today you're asked to wait, perhaps it's not punishment, but a pause from the universe, saying, this too is life, just slower and just as sacred. In this moment, as you settle into your chair and cast your gaze around the room, notice the gentle rhythm of your breath, flowing in and out like the tide embracing the shore. Feel the weight of your body pressing softly against the surface beneath you. Allow your shoulders to drop, your mind to quiet like the surface of a pond on a still morning. Now, let your imagination take a step into a simple, sacred space, a kitchen, perhaps where the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary, where mindful awareness waits patiently for you to notice it. Picture the warm light of the early morning sun filtering through a window, casting a golden hue across the room. The day stretches out ahead, like a blank canvas waiting for your brush. In the kitchen, a single sink filled with warm, soapy water invites your presence. The dishes, a small mountain of everyday moments, plates bearing the remnants of yesterday's meals, cups cradling the warmth of morning coffee, and cutlery that sparkled with stories untold. As you step toward the sink, the soft sound of water running, a gentle cascade like a serene stream winding its way through a forest, invites you to slow down. Feel the tile cool beneath your bare feet, grounding you to this very moment. Each drop of water that joins the bubbling mix echoes like a whisper, beckoning you to listen deeply. You reach for the first plate, its surface cool and slightly slippery under your touch. With intention, you submerge it in the bubbly water, watching as the fabric of soap melds with the surface, creating a transparent veil of cleansing. The sound of the plate breaking the surface produces a soft splash, a reminder that even the necessary action of washing can be an act of grace. The scent of fresh lemon and a hint of earthy undertones mingle in the air, illuminating the senses and inviting you to linger in this experience. As you lift the plate, the warm water caresses your skin, tiny beads of moisture trickling gently down your wrist. Your mind, in its ever-hastening pace, begins to quiet. You are here, present with this plate, this water, this moment. You take the sponge, its texture fulfilling a purpose not unlike that of your breath, each stroke intentional, a soft caress gliding across the surface. You notice how the sponge absorbs the soapy water, releasing it back into the embrace of the plate just as you breathe in, drawing in the world around you, to then gently release your breath back into the universe. As you rinse the dish, clear water flows freely, a cleansing stream releasing remnants of the past. The glistening plate reflects the light back at you, a brief moment where water and plate seem to dance together in a shimmering display. You wipe it dry with a soft cloth, feeling the gentle resistance as you glide across its surface. Each motion becomes a kind of meditation, a rhythmic pulse reflecting life's ebb and flow, the rise and fall of breath. You continue, each dish becoming a vessel not just of food, but of the present moment. A mug with a slight chip on, say, the treasured vessel of morning warmth, reminds you of transience. Allow it to be just as it is, the imperfection not a flaw, but a reminder of stories shared and memories sipped slowly over time. You embrace its history, holding it lightly as you rinse and dry. The kitchen becomes a sanctuary, filled with the collective whispers of the moments shared around this table, of laughter and nourishment. Your hands, now immersed in this tapestry of sensations, feel the coolness of metal spoons and the warmth of ceramic dishes. Each piece bears witness to your life, and in these small moments, the mundane transforms into a sacred practice. You pause, taking a breath, allowing the gentle warmth of gratitude to wash over you. The repetitive nature of the task begins to slow time. It invites reflection, allowing thoughts to arise and pass, like leaves floating down a stream. With each exhale, you release the weight of worry and anxiety, finding solace in the here and now. As you finish the last of the dishes, you smile at the transformation. What was once a chaotic pile has now become a tableau of cleanliness and renewal. You take a moment to observe the glistening surface of the sink, the way the light dances across the porcelain, a mirror reflecting your own state of mind. Nothing needs to be hurried. Everything is exactly as it should be. You put away the last dish, moving gently in the quiet kitchen, remnants of warmth still lingering in the air. You feel your heart settle. The whirling thoughts begin to quiet like leaves landing softly on the ground. There is a stillness that permeates the space, an echo of gratitude and presence, each vibration gently guiding you to acknowledge the beauty of now. As you step back, take a deep breath and let it fill your lungs. Carry with you the essence of this stillness, the dance of hands in warm water, the grounding connection to the present. You have turned a simple task into a moment of mindfulness, a reminder that within the rhythm of life's everyday chores, there lies a profound peace awaiting your awareness. Allow this insight to harmonize with your breath as you move back into the world, grounded and aware, ready to embrace whatever comes next with an open heart and a mind at ease. Take a breath, and slow and steady. The kind of breath you take when you enter a quiet room full of stories. Let your mind soften, like paper worn thin by time. Let your hands rest, not in stillness, but in awareness. Now imagine this. You're standing in front of a bookshelf. It could be in your home, a library, or a bookshop. You reach out, and your fingers begin to walk slowly, hands across the spines of the books. The room was quiet. Filtered light fell through the window, catching the edges of dust and memory. A tall bookshelf stood before Ava, sturdy, full, lined with titles she half remembered, and others she'd never opened. She didn't come looking for anything in particular. There was no urgency, no goal, just a sense, a pull toward presence. She stepped closer, let her right hand rise, and pressed her fingers gently. I was against the row of books. The textures met her skin one by one. Cloth-bound, smooth, cracked, embossed titles, faded letters, a paper jacket softened by time and touch. She didn't pull any out. Not yet. She just moved slowly, 1 inch at a time, feeling. Each book had a weight, a temperature, a quiet history. Some had been untouched for years. Others still held warmth from recent hands. She paused on one with a torn spine, traced the rip with her thumb, felt something like tenderness, then continued. Her breath matched the rhythm, a silent metronome, marking presence. She didn't need to read to be nourished, didn't need to choose to be connected. She was already inside the story. Not the one on the pages, but the one that lives. In the act of pausing, noticing, touching the lives of books without turning a single page. We often think wisdom is found inside the books, but sometimes God isn't in the space between them, in the way we move slowly enough to feel every title, every texture, every trace of someone else's curiosity. Running your hand along a row of books is not just browsing. Oh, it's listening. It's remembering that knowledge doesn't just live in text, but in quiet, in reverence, in attention. So the next time you find yourself near a bookshelf, you don't rush to pull one down. Run your hand slowly. Let them greet you. Let them remind you that even when you don't know what you're looking for, you're already home. In the stillness of the early morning, as the world holds its breath, let us take a moment to settle into our own breath. Allow it to come and go like the waves of the sea, ebbing and flowing as the soft light of dawn begins to spill into the room. Feel the gentle touch of air against your skin, the coolness that greets you, inviting connection with this moment. Let it envelop you like a tender embrace. With each inhale, gather a sense of clarity. With each exhale, release the weight of yesterday. Here, in this fragile pause, life unfolds in its simplest form, waiting for you to notice the beauty in its quiet rhythms. It is a quiet afternoon when Mia finds herself at her kitchen sink, another day merging softly into the next. The hum of daily life lingers in the background, gently tucking itself into the folds of her consciousness. The sun streams through the window, painting the counter with a soft golden glow, illuminating the droplets of water that dance playfully on the surface. The dishes, left in a vibrant array of colors, beckon her to engage. With a simple intention, she rolls up her sleeves, feeling the cool porcelain against her fingertips, the texture of the smooth plates contrasting with the gritty remnants of yesterday's dinner. As her fingers wrap around a bowl, she breathes in the warm sense of soap, the soft fragrance, softening the edges of her returning thoughts, allowing her to settle deeper into this present moment. Placing the bowl under the flowing tap, she watches as the water cascades down like a crystalline waterfall, endlessly cycling and fluid. The sound is soothing, a rhythmic trickle that mingles with the hum of life outside, where birds chirp gently and a single car sweeps past in the distance. Mia allows each sound to wash over her, each note a reminder of the vast world outside the confines of her kitchen. In this moment, as she begins to scrub the surface, she feels the warmth radiating from the soapy water. It slips between her fingers, creating a soft barrier that highlights every movement. She lifts the sponge, sensing its texture soft and yielding, full of potential. The gentle squeeze releases a stream of bubbles that expand and rise like tiny clouds, floating around her hands, softening the air. Her mind drifts briefly to a worry about an upcoming meeting. A flicker of anxiety slips through like an unexpected gust of wind, yet she acknowledges it, just allowing it to pass like a leaf carried down a stream. Instead, she focuses on the sensation of the sponge against the bowl, the rhythm of her hand moving steadily in circles. The world outside fades, and all that exists is this one present task. The gliding motion, the bubbling foam, the rhythmic swish of water. As the bowl emerges shiny and clean, a feeling of completion stirs within her. She rinses it under the cool stream, feeling the satisfaction of the water washing away any remaining residue, impurities dissolving into the flow, and with it, a sense of letting go surges through her body. Each dish that follows becomes another opportunity for connection. It is no longer simply a chore, it is a practice of presence, a communion with the essence of her surroundings. The plates clink softly against one another, a unique song that sings of nourishment and togetherness, family dinners, and laughter shared over hearty meals. She takes a moment to savor this connection, aware of the stories each dish carries. Memories rise, unbidden yet welcome. They swirl gently in her heart, warm and tender, as she glances out the window. Here, the trees sway lightly, their leaves whispering secrets to the gentle breeze, each rustle a reminder of the impermanence of all things. Mia moves on to the silverware row of forks and spoons, glinting under the sunlight, reminding her of tools used to nurture and care for those she loves. As her fingers glide over the cool metal, she thinks of the laughter shared at countless meals, the stories told, the moments woven together. Each piece holds the energy of those interactions, a kaleidoscope of shared life, discreet yet profound. Rinsing the utensils, she allows the water to cascade lovingly over each piece, feeling the pulse of life reflected in the flow. The sound becomes a meditative mantra, a rhythmic heartbeat pulling her deeper into the now. She notices her breath, sinking with the water, gently inhaling with the pour, and releasing with the drip, a fulfilling exchange, her lungs rising and falling like the waves of the sea she so deeply loves. She pauses for a moment, resting her hands on the sink. Closing her eyes, she feels the occasional cool breeze flow through the open window, toying with her hair. The kitchen, slick with water and sunlight, is alive with presence, everything sparkling, everything whole. There is no haste, no pushing against the current of time. Instead, she feels nestled in an oasis of stillness, swaddled in the ordinary, yet profoundly sacred moments of this simple act. As the last of the dishes rests upon the rack, glistening droplets cling to their edges, Mia leans back to survey her work, a peaceful smile spreading across her face. Each stroke, each rinse, has brought her back into alignment with herself, a gentle reminder that even in the most mundane of tasks, there lies a path back to the heart of what matters: gentleness, patience, presence. Her gaze lands on the kitchen window where a robin perches, its small frame silhouetted against the canvas of the sky. It sings a simple tune, a melodic phrase that calls to her spirit, summons her to remain here, anchored in this moment. She realizes that the beauty of life lies not in the grand gestures, but in the everyday rhythms that cradle her existence. She takes a deep breath, infusing her lungs with gratitude, her heart full with the essence of the here and now, this gentle rhythm of water, the warmth of sunlight, the satisfaction of presence. As Mia stands in her sunlit kitchen, she carries with her the quiet insight that life unfolds within these simple acts, within the embrace of each moment, inviting mindfulness into the dance of daily living. She feels grounded, a sense of belonging flowing through her veins, as the world outside continues its gentle whisper. In this stillness, she knows that being fully present is the essence of peace, an ever-available invitation to return to the present moment, time and time again. In the stillness of the morning, before the world stirs awake, take a moment to notice the rhythm of your breath. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest, the coolness of the air as it enters your lungs, and the warmth that follows as you exhale. Allow your thoughts to arrive and pass like clouds drifting across a vast sky, neither holding onto them nor pushing them away. Just be here, fully, in this present moment. In this tranquil space, let us embark on a simple journey, one that invites the essence of mindfulness to weave itself into the fabric of our everyday existence. Imagine standing in a sunlit kitchen, the soft glow of the morning light seeping through the window, casting dancing patterns on your countertop. You are alone, embraced by the familiar hum of silence, punctuated only by the occasional call of a distant bird or the rustle of leaves outside in the gentle breeze. Before you lies a pile of dishes, plates, cups, and utensils, remnants of a shared meal that now await your touch. As you approach the sink, feel the coolness of the tile beneath your feet and the slight dampness of the air, infused with the scent of soap and the lingering aroma of last night's dinner. You turn on the faucet, and water cascades out, each droplet sparkling like diamonds in the morning light. Listen to the comforting sound of the water as it fills the sink, a steady flow that brings to mind the endless stream of time, ever present and unhurried. You reach for a plate, the smooth porcelain soft against your fingertips. Close your eyes for a moment and allow yourself to fully embrace this experience, The texture of the plate, the warmth left from the food it held, the quiet purity of the task ahead. With each plate you lift, you invite awareness in, honoring this mundane act as a precious opportunity to be wholly present. As you plunge the first dish into the soapy water, feel the warmth envelop your hands, a gentle contrast to the cool air around you. Bubbles rise and pop, their small explosions releasing bursts of light and energy. They float around like tiny joyful orbs, each one a little moment of beauty clinging to the surface, reminding you of the simplicity that lies within the now. Your mind may wander from yesterday's challenges to tomorrow's appointments, but you gently guide it back, like a child returning to play, your focus softening around the rhythm of your task. Wash, rinse, repeat. The mantra of the moment unfolds. As you scrub the surfaces, consider each stroke a gentle sweep of intention, a cleansing not just of the dishes, but of the thoughts that swirl in your mind. Allow the water to flow freely from the faucet, feeling a sense of release as it carries away the residue of yesterday, leaving the plate bright and clean in your hands. Notice the play of light on the water and soap, shimmering reflections that dance before your eyes like memories fluttering in the breeze. Each splash, each movement of your hands, holds a story, a connection to the nourishment once shared, the laughter that punctuated the meal, the solace of companionship. As you rinse the dish under a cascade of fresh water, feel the coolness wash over you, a reminder that even the most mundane tasks can be laced with joy, serenity, and grace. In this moment, time expands and contracts in the rhythmic pulse of your breathing in the swirling waters. Thoughts may arise, words unsaid, tasks unaccomplished, but like clouds in the sky, they drift away, leaving behind a sense of openness, clarity. Each moment is new, an invitation to simply be, to exist within the confines of warm water and fleeting brightness. The stack of dishes slowly diminishes, one watery embrace at a time. You move with ease and familiarity, creating a dance that feels as ancient as the cycle of seasons. Feel your hands glide through the water as the warmth seeps deeper into your muscles, easing tension and inviting relaxation. With every rinse, there is a letting go of both the physical remnants of yesterday's meal and the mental burdens that may weigh on your spirit. As the last plate emerges from the water, glistening and pristine, take a moment to hold it in your hands, a small victory in the greater tapestry of your day. This single act, this simple ritual, is overflowing with significance, a reminder that beauty resides not just in grand gestures but in the minutiae of our daily lives. Notice the soft hum of the water as you place the plate on the drying rack, the soft fabric of the towel awaiting its touch, the light now illuminating every corner of the kitchen. You stand still for a moment, surrounded by the gentle chaos of an ordinary morning. The world outside continues its rhythm. The breeze dances through the open window, carrying with it the symphony of life, the laughter of children, the distant sound of traffic, the songs of birds budding in new growth. Breathe in this moment, allowing the stillness to wrap around you like a soft blanket. You are here, fully present, and that is enough. As you step away from the sink, let the richness of this experience linger in your heart. The act of simply being, of embracing the now, this is a gift you can carry forward into the day that lies ahead. Every moment is an opportunity to return to the water and light, to find blessing in the ordinary, to listen to the silent dance that surrounds you. Each breath, a reminder of presence, each step, an invitation to live fully. With your heart and mind at ease, you may return to the world, grounded, aware, and at peace. As you settle into this moment, take a gentle breath in, feeling the air fill your lungs, and then release it slowly, letting go of the pressures of the day. This sacred pause is yours, a chance to awaken to the present, to embrace the now. Picture yourself standing at a kitchen sink, where warmth mingles with water, and the steady rhythm of life unfolds in simple, yet profound actions. Let's step into this space together. In the heart of a small home, a kitchen waits patiently, the remnants of a meal lingering on the plates scattered about the counter. The sunlight filters through the window, casting flickering patterns upon the tiled floor, as if inviting you to dance upon the smooth surface. There's a soft hum of the world outside, birds chirping in gentle conversation, the wind murmuring through the trees. You approach the sink, feeling the cool, smooth surface of the counter beneath your fingertips. The familiar scent of lavender dish soap rises to greet you, a gentle reminder of warmth and care. As you fill the basin with water, the sound of the faucet creates a soothing cascade, each drop resonating like a heartbeat, steady, rhythmic, alive. You pause for a moment, noticing the rise and fall of your breath. Inhale, exhale. It's the simple act of being here, now. Slowly, you lift a plate, the weight of it familiar against your palm, and dip it into the warm water, feeling the gentle embrace of the liquid enveloping your skin. Bubbles foam and dance around the edges, shimmering in the sunlight, a delicate ballet that invites your gaze. As you begin to scrub, the sound of porcelain rubbing against porcelain fills the air, a soft, rhythmic swish that wraps around your senses. The dish, once marred by remnants of a shared meal, transforms under your touch, its surface becoming smooth and glistening. You take your time, letting the task draw you deeper into this moment, this sanctuary of simplicity. Notice the sensations. The water swirls around your hands, warm and welcoming. The soap releases its gentle fragrance with each stroke, creating an invisible halo of peace. You immerse yourself fully, letting go of thoughts that drift like clouds across a bright sky, observing them without attachment. Here, there is no rush, no destination beyond the tranquility of now. You wash the dishes one by one, each with its own story, each a vessel of sustenance and connection. A mug bearing the cheerful print of sunflowers reminds you of lazy mornings shared over coffee, laughter echoing softly in the air. A well-loved cutting board, worn from years of chopping and slicing, speaks of countless meals prepared with love and intention. As your hands glide over these familiar shapes, you can almost hear the conversations that unfolded around them, the whispers of joy, the laughter, the stories that were nurtured and shared. The kitchen breathes with these memories, and you recognize how they infuse this ordinary moment with extraordinary meaning. The water begins to cool, and you dip your hands deeper, feeling the slight chill as you rinse away the remnants of soap. It's a gentle reminder. Everything has its cycle: creation, sustenance, and return. Each dish becomes a reflection of life's ebb and flow, a testament to the present moment. With each object returned to its place, you acknowledge the transformation not just of the dishes, but of yourself, a quiet shift within. The clinking of glasses as they find their home in the cupboard resonates like a soft affirmation, a celebration of completion. You stand back for a moment, savoring the clarity that surrounds you. The kitchen is now a canvas, polished and ready for the next chapter. In the stillness, you allow the serenity of the moment to settle into your bones. You feel a connection to this simple task, a recognition of the beauty inherent in the act of caring for your space. You dry your hands on a soft, textured towel, the fibers melding into your skin, a grounding sensation that reaffirms your presence. In this act, there is gratitude not just for the tools of your home, but for the chance to breathe deeply, to exist fully in this moment. With every step you take away from the sink, you carry the serenity of the moment with you. The kitchen is not just a place where dishes are washed. It is a sacred space of reflection, of nurturing, of presence. Each sound, each sensation resonates within you, a melody of the ordinary turned extraordinary. In the larger world outside, life continues its frantic pace, but here, in this gentle embrace of stillness, you find that you are anchored, a calm amidst the swirling currents. You cherish this sense of being alive, the depth of connection to the present. As you gently guide your thoughts back to the here and now, carry with you the peace discovered at the sink. Know that these moments of mindfulness are always available to you, woven into the fabric of your daily life. With each return to the present, each mundane task transformed into an opportunity for connection, you become like the water in the basin, clear, flowing, and harmonious, a part of the dance of life. Take a deep breath in, hold it for just a heartbeat, and let it go, feeling grounded and at peace as you step forward. Let yourself arrive, not through effort, but through stillness. Let the breath slow. Let the thoughts soften. Let your awareness spread. Like moonlight gently covering the rooftops. There is a world that only wakes when others sleep. A world where silence is not emptiness, but depth. Now imagine this. You step onto your balcony in the middle of the night. The air is cool. The world is hushed. And for once, the time is no longer in a hurry. The clock had just passed 2 a.m. Sam couldn't sleep. Not because of noise, but because of thoughts, the kind that don't shout, or just linger. He slipped out of bed, wrapped a sweater around his shoulders, and stepped barefoot onto the balcony. The door clicked shut behind him, and the silence met him like a familiar friend. The city was asleep. No horns, no voices, just the occasional far-off hum, a distant truck, a streetlight buzzing faintly, the soft rustle of wind through empty alleys. He exhaled, felt the breath leave his chest, as if the air had been holding it for hours. The railing beneath his hands was cold, but grounding, real. He looked out. Buildings stood like gentle giants, lit by pale moonscape. Windows glowed faintly, scattered like stars in concrete. No one rushed. No one passed. Even the trees, silhouetted in the distance, now stood still, as if in meditation. Sam let his thoughts rise, not to solve them, but to let them stretch. He wasn't trying to figure anything out now, just letting things be. A cat moved across a rooftop, effortless, unconcerned. He smiled, not because of the cat, but because it reminded him, there's another pace, that's another way. He wrapped his arms tighter around his body, felt the cool air enter through the collar of his shirt. It didn't sting, now as it cleared. The city, so often loud and insistent, now spoke in whispers. And in those whispers, he heard something he hadn't in days. His own breath, his own presence, his own enoughness. There is a version of the world that only reveals itself in the hours between, when plans are asleep and pressure is paused, and the only expectation back is being here. You don't always need to fix the night. Sometimes you just need to witness it, to stand still, to breathe in air that hasn't yet been rushed, to know that silence isn't loneliness. Have its space. So the next time sleep escapes you, come step outside. Let the city whisper. Let the night hold you. Let yourself be part of the quiet that is always quietly waiting. Take a breath, not to begin, but to arrive. Feel the way the air moves through you. Cool, gentle, patient. Let your body rest, as if it's being held, not by a surface, but by the quiet itself. Now imagine this. You're lying in bed. The room is silent, and the wind, gentle, effortless, has just found its way through the open window. The afternoon had faded without asking permission. Now it was early evening, that soft blue hour where everything feels slow, even time. No alarms, no footsteps, no voices from the hallway. Just Maya, lying in bed, her head resting against a pillow that remembered the shape of her. She wasn't sleeping. She wasn't thinking. She was just not doing anything. The window had been left slightly open. The air that came through was cool but not cold, just enough to carry something with it. The scent of trees, the whisper of clouds shifting, the distant hush of a world exhaling. The curtain moved, not dramatically, just a soft flutter, as if it too was breathing. She turned her head slightly, watching the fabric lift, pause, fall, lift, pause, fall. It was mesmerizing, unscripted, honest. She didn't reach for her phone, didn't need music. The rustling was enough. It reminded her of childhood, hours of hot nights when fans hummed, innocent dreams drifted in with the wind. Her breath began to match the movement. Inhale with the rise of the curtain. Exhale with its settling. The room seemed alive now. Not busy, but responsive. She let one hand rest on her chest, felt the rhythm beneath it. Not perfect, but present. Outside, A branch swayed. Inside, the curtain danced again. And within her, space. Not filled. Not empty. Just open. Stillness is not always about silence. Sometimes it's about listening to the gentlest movements. A breeze. A breath. A curtain swaying like thought. When we lie still, we don't disconnect. We remember that life comes in waves, in winds, and softness. And sometimes, doing nothing is how we receive everything. So the next time the wind visits, we don't close the window. Let it come. Let it move. Let it carry you inward, while the curtain dances slowly, just for you. Take a moment to settle into your space. Allow your body to find a comfortable position. Feel the weight of your existence resting gently against the earth. Inhale slowly, letting the air fill your lungs like soft clouds on a calm day. And then exhale, feeling the tension dissolve like mist under the morning sun. As you become aware of your breath, let go of the busy thoughts that flit through your mind like autumn leaves in a gentle breeze. Here, in this moment, there is nothing to do but breathe, nothing to chase but presence. Allow your gaze to soften, your shoulders to relax, and prepare to immerse yourself in a simple, ordinary experience that hides a deeper richness. In the heart of a quiet kitchen, the sunlight poured through a window, spilling warmth across the worn wooden table. It was early morning, the kind when the world outside still held the remnants of night, a gentle shroud of silence, enveloping everything in a soft embrace. There, seated at the table, was Mia, a woman touched by a fleeting whisper of nostalgia as she prepared for the day's ritual, washing the dishes. She gathered the remnants of her late-night snack, a simple dinner of soup and bread, the bowl glinting softly under the golden light. One by one, the dishes came off the table, each holding its own story, a splash of tomato sauce, a crumb of a buttered roll. Holding the bowl in her hands, Mia felt the warmth it still retained, a gentle reminder of what once nourished her. The act of cleaning was not merely a chore, it was a dance, an opportunity to savor each moment with intent. As she filled the sink with warm, soapy water, bubbles began to form, shimmering like tiny galaxies swirling in space. The steam rose gently, curling in the air like a soft embrace. Mia placed the bowl into the water, feeling the heat radiate against her skin, the sensation both familiar and comforting. There was a pause as she watched the bubbles gather, a small universe of possibility, each bubble destined to burst, just as moments in life come and go. The soft sound of water splashing filled the kitchen, and in that moment, it felt as if time had slowed. She reached for a sponge, its texture offering a satisfying resistance against her fingers. As she began to scrub, she let her attention settle on the rhythm of the task, a gentle circular motion. Back and forth, she felt the stress of her day start to unravel. Each stroke, each movement, was an invitation to the present. She was fully engaged in this intimate act of care. Letting her breath deepen, Mia became aware of the familiar scent of citrus soap, clean and invigorating, wrapping around her like a warm blanket. With every stroke, she was not just washing a bowl. She was washing her thoughts, her worries, each echo retreating like the tide drawing back from the shore. The clink of porcelain against porcelain as she set the bowl aside, sang a quiet melody, harmonizing with the soft hum of the refrigerator and the distant rush of traffic outside. It was a symphony of domesticity, a soundtrack to her mindfulness. As she moved on to the next piece, her favorite mug, adorned with a cheerful, soon an unexpected memory, floated to the surface. She recalled the laughter shared over coffee with a dear friend, the feeling of connection that tied them together. This simple cup, now soapy in her hands, was infused with love, imbued with the warmth of those shared moments. A gentle smile formed on her lips as she cleaned it, memories flowing through her heart like a gentle stream, their essence washing over her. With each completed dish, Mia noticed a sense of fullness blossom within her, a contentment that came from this deliberate act of being. Stimulated by the warmth and texture, she traced her fingers over the surfaces of the plates and utensils, each movement becoming a meditation, a union of body and mind. The water ran cool beneath her fingers, invigorating yet soothing. She let her senses come alive, the sound of water, the aroma of soap, the sight of sparkling dishes gathering in the draining rack. In this seemingly mundane task, there was no rush, no need to push forward, just the simple unfolding of time, an invitation to be fully present. She closed her eyes briefly, savoring a moment of stillness as the rising steam kissed her cheeks. In that stillness, she became aware of the thoughts that sometimes clouded her mind, concerns about work, the future, the unmade plans. But here, they were like distant clouds drifting across a vast sky. They came, and then they passed. Mia breathed in the tranquility of her kitchen, anchoring her awareness in the here and now. Gently finishing up the last plate, she placed it in the rack and turned her gaze out the window. The world outside was beginning to stir. Birds were flitting back and forth in the tree branches, a soft chorus of chirps filling the air, an ode to the morning's promise. She watched the leaves sway in the mild breeze, each one dancing to an unseen rhythm, and for a moment felt a profound connection to the world unfolding beyond her window. She was but one thread in this intricate tapestry of life, woven together with nature, her heart synchronized with the pulse of the earth. As she wiped her hands on a towel, something shifted within her. It was the understanding that these fleeting moments, these everyday rituals, held profound meaning. Each dish washed was a moment cherished, each breath taken a reminder of her aliveness. There was beauty in the ordinary. In simplicity, life thrived. Thus, she looked around the kitchen, now a gleaming portrait of gratitude. Each surface was a reflection of her care, her mindfulness, her presence distilled into this cocoon of warmth. With an open heart, Mia invited the day ahead. Embracing the miraculous in the mundane, she felt ready to step beyond the threshold of her kitchen, carrying with her the quiet serenity forged in her mindful practice. As you close your eyes, perhaps consider how the simple moments in your own life beckon for attention: the warmth of the sun, the rhythm of your breath, the songs of the world around you. Know that, like Mia, the ordinary can become extraordinary when wrapped in mindful awareness. Each day brings its own gift, here to be unveiled, moment by moment, breath by breath, as you stand in the symphony of stillness that is your life. Take a long, slow breath, the kind that reaches the spaces you usually skip. Let your jaw loosen. Let your shoulders rest. Let your breath settle like silt in still water. Now imagine this. You're sitting at the edge of a wooden dock. The lake is quiet. The sky is open. And the water moves gently, without needing to go anywhere. The sun was dipping low, not yet sunset, but softening. The dock creaked slightly under Sam's weight as he sat cross-legged at its edge, bare feet hovering just above the lake's surface. The air was still warm, but held the cool breath of evening. Birds called occasionally, their voices distant, never urgent. And the water, it wasn't still, but it wasn't chaotic. It moved in ripples, but tiny ones. Some pushed by wind, the others born from unseen fish just beneath the surface. Sam didn't try to name them, didn't try to understand. He simply watched. Each ripple arrived, distorted the reflection of sky and tree, then smoothed out again, like breath, rising, falling, and disappearing. He noticed how light danced on the surface. A shimmer here, is a flicker there. Never the same shape twice. The dock beneath him warmed his palms. The wood was rough in some places, it was soft in others, worn by time, like everything that lasts. He leaned forward slightly, rested his elbows on his knees, and let his gaze soften. The water wasn't performing. It didn't need to. It was simply being. So was he. Thoughts came and went, like the ripples, unfolding, dissolving. He didn't chase them, didn't judge them, just felt the air on his skin, the quiet beneath the breeze, and the slow, steady rhythm of a world that didn't need fixing. There are places we go to escape, and then there are places that return us to who we are beneath the noise. The edge of a dock, the surface of a lake, the silence between ripples. Water doesn't ask where you've been. It doesn't measure your worth. It only reflects. So the next time you find yourself by the water, I don't speak. Don't solve. Just sit. Let the dock hold you. Let the ripples pass. Let the stillness inside you rise again, and realize it never left. As you settle into this moment, take a gentle breath in, feeling the air fill your lungs, and then release it slowly, letting go of the pressures of the day. This sacred pause is yours, a chance to awaken to the present, to embrace the now. Picture yourself standing at a kitchen sink, where warmth mingles with water, and the steady rhythm of life unfolds in simple, yet profound actions. Let's step into this space together. In the heart of a small home, a kitchen waits patiently, the remnants of a meal lingering on the plates scattered about the counter. The sunlight filters through the window, casting flickering patterns upon the tiled floor, as if inviting you to dance upon the smooth surface. There's a soft hum of the world outside, birds chirping in gentle conversation, the wind murmuring through the trees. You approach the sink, feeling the cool, smooth surface of the counter beneath your fingertips. The familiar scent of lavender dish soap rises to greet you, a gentle reminder of warmth and care. As you fill the basin with water, the sound of the faucet creates a soothing cascade, each drop resonating like a heartbeat, steady, rhythmic, alive. You pause for a moment, noticing the rise and fall of your breath. Inhale, exhale. It's the simple act of being here, now. Slowly, you lift a plate, the weight of it familiar against your palm, and dip it into the warm water, feeling the gentle embrace of the liquid enveloping your skin. Bubbles foam and dance around the edges, shimmering in the sunlight, a delicate ballet that invites your gaze. As you begin to scrub, the sound of porcelain rubbing against porcelain fills the air, a soft, rhythmic swish that wraps around your senses. The dish, once marred by remnants of a shared meal, transforms under your touch, its surface becoming smooth and glistening. You take your time, letting the task draw you deeper into this moment, this sanctuary of simplicity. Notice the sensations. The water swirls around your hands, warm and welcoming. The soap releases its gentle fragrance with each stroke, creating an invisible halo of peace. You immerse yourself fully, letting go of thoughts that drift like clouds across a bright sky, observing them without attachment. Here, there is no rush, no destination beyond the tranquility of now. You wash the dishes one by one, each with its own story, each a vessel of sustenance and connection. A mug bearing the cheerful print of sunflowers reminds you of lazy mornings shared over coffee, laughter echoing softly in the air. A well-loved cutting board, worn from years of chopping and slicing, speaks of countless meals prepared with love and intention. As your hands glide over these familiar shapes, you can almost hear the conversations that unfolded around them, the whispers of joy, the laughter, the stories that were nurtured and shared. The kitchen breathes with these memories, and you recognize how they infuse this ordinary moment with extraordinary meaning. The water begins to cool, and you dip your hands deeper, feeling the slight chill as you rinse away the remnants of soap. It's a gentle reminder. Everything has its cycle: creation, sustenance, and return. Each dish becomes a reflection of life's ebb and flow, a testament to the present moment. With each object returned to its place, you acknowledge the transformation not just of the dishes, but of yourself, a quiet shift within. The clinking of glasses as they find their home in the cupboard resonates like a soft affirmation, a celebration of completion. You stand back for a moment, savoring the clarity that surrounds you. The kitchen is now a canvas, polished and ready for the next chapter. In the stillness, you allow the serenity of the moment to settle into your bones. You feel a connection to this simple task, a recognition of the beauty inherent in the act of caring for your space. You dry your hands on a soft, textured towel, the fibers melding into your skin, a grounding sensation that reaffirms your presence. In this act, there is gratitude not just for the tools of your home, but for the chance to breathe deeply, to exist fully in this moment. With every step you take away from the sink, you carry the serenity of the moment with you. The kitchen is not just a place where dishes are washed. It is a sacred space of reflection, of nurturing, of presence. Each sound, each sensation resonates within you, a melody of the ordinary turned extraordinary. In the larger world outside, life continues its frantic pace, but here, In this gentle embrace of stillness, you find that you are anchored, a calm amidst the swirling currents. You cherish this sense of being alive, the depth of connection to the present. As you gently guide your thoughts back to the here and now, carry with you the peace discovered at the sink. Know that these moments of mindfulness are always available to you, woven into the fabric of your daily life. With each return to the present, each mundane task transformed into an opportunity for connection, you become like the water in the basin, clear, flowing, and harmonious, a part of the dance of life. Take a deep breath in, hold it for just a heartbeat, and let it go, feeling grounded and at peace as you step forward. Take a deep breath, in through the nose, and out, as if through a window just cracked open to morning air. Notice your shoulders. Notice your breath. Notice the space inside your chest. Maybe softening. You are not behind. You are not late. You are simply here. Now imagine this. Steam still hanging in the air. Your skin still warm from water. And a mirror waiting to be seen again. The water had stopped. The last drop echoed softly into the drain, like the final note of a song that didn't need a chorus. Eli stood still, wrapped in a towel, the room around him quiet, except for the gentle hum of condensation, the whisper of steam on tile. And the mirror was fogged, completely. Just a pale, glowing rectangle above the sink, and hiding everything it usually showed. He leaned closer, saw nothing but his outline, blurred, ghost-like, distant. His hand reached out, almost instinctively. He placed his palm flat against the mirror, warm on one side, cool on the other. He drew a single line across the surface, a streak of clarity, a thin window into what lay behind. His own eyes stared back, tired perhaps, but honest. He didn't judge what he saw. He simply looked. He noted the curve of his brow, the softness under his eyes, the drop of water clinging to his jaw and refusing to fall. He wiped again, this time with a folded towel. Slow, circular motions. As the mirror cleared, so did his thoughts. He began to notice more. The scent of eucalyptus still lingering in the air, the hum of pipes quieting beneath the floor, the weight of the day slowly dripping away with the steam. He wasn't rushing to get dressed, wasn't reaching for his phone, just standing here with himself. In a moment that wasn't impressive, but was entirely real. He let the towel hang over the sink, ran his fingers through his damp hair, and stood still one last time, watching his reflection watch him back. Sometimes, the most honest reflection comes not from what you see, but from how you choose to see it. The mirror fogs for a reason, not to hide you, but to give you a chance to reintroduce yourself slowly, with kindness, with curiosity, with breath. You don't need to be sharp to be seen. You don't need to be perfect to be clear. Just present. So the next time steam veils the glass, and your own face fades behind it, don't rush. Wipe gently. Look softly. And meet the person who waited for you, just on the other side. Take a breath. Not to prepare for something, but to land more fully here. Let your breath move through you like a breeze. Soft, unnoticed at first, but grounding. There is no urgency, only rhythm. Now imagine this. A quiet room, a rumpled bed, and a pair of hands. Moving, not to finish something, but to feel it. The morning was still unfolding. The light had changed from blue to gold, spilling across the floor in soft geometry. No rush today. No place to be. Not yet. Jamie stood beside the bed, half made from sleep. The sheets pulled, the blanket crooked, the pillows scattered like clouds that had drifted in the night. He didn't sigh, didn't groan, just placed both feet on the floor steady, still. and reached for the edge of the sheet. He smoothed it slowly, palm against cotton, pressing out the creases like soft exhalations. A bird called once outside. He paused, not to listen, but to notice that he was already hearing. He walked to the other side of the bed, lifted the corner, tucked it with care. Not perfection, not control, just attention. The blanket followed, a slow unfolding, its weight familiar, like memory, like safety. He fluffed a pillow, watched it expand with air, laid it gently against the headboard. Then the next, and the next, each motion repeated with quiet dignity. He stood back, saw the bed, now whole, saw the space, now tended. And more than that, he felt something return to him. A small clarity, a soft readiness, not to begin the day with a sprint, but with grace. We spend so much time unmaking, unraveling, unfolding, but there is a quiet power in putting things back together, with care, with hands, with breath. To smooth the fabric is to smooth the mind. To fold the corner is to create calm. To make the bed is not to finish something, but to honor something. Your space, your body, your presence in the day ahead. And when you walk away, it's not just the bed that is made. It's you. Take a deep breath. Let it fill the belly first, then the ribs, and finally the chest. And now let it go, slowly, softly, like fog lifting from the earth at dawn. You don't need to be anywhere else. Nothing to fix, nothing to become. Just this moment, this inhale, this exhale. Allow your shoulders to drop. Let the tension in your jaw melt like ice under sunlight. Bring your attention gently, like a feather settling into the here and now. Sometimes, the ordinary moments hold the most extraordinary invitations. Let's step into one together. It was an ordinary Thursday afternoon when Elise found herself standing at the kitchen sink. The window above was half open, letting in a spring breeze that carried the soft scent of jasmine and the occasional hum of passing motorbikes. She had just finished lunch alone, a bowl of leftover rice and a slice of mango. There was a small stack of dishes waiting, nothing monumental, just the quiet evidence of a lived-in day. Her hands moved automatically, reaching for the sponge, the dish soap. The water ran warm, not too hot. She cupped it in her palms and let it trickle through her fingers for a moment before beginning. The first plate slid into the soapy water with a gentle clink. She noticed the sound, crisp yet muted. A swirl of bubbles followed. She watched them rise and burst, tiny orbs of rainbow shimmer here, then gone. Each one a universe, appearing and disappearing without fanfare. Elise brought her attention to her breath. Inhale, the scent of citrus soap. Exhale, a loosening in her chest. She began to wash slowly, deliberately. The sponge pressed against ceramic, the water trickling down her wrists. Each motion grounded her a little more. The plate became a field of sensation, smooth here, a sticky patch there. She caught herself reaching toward the next dish while still rinsing the first, and smiled. Her mind, always sprinting ahead. She gently returned to what was here. The light shifted as a cloud passed overhead. She paused, watched as the shadows in the kitchen softened, then brightened again. Outside, a bird landed on the sill for a moment, small, brown, unremarkable in color, but bold in its chirp. She looked up just in time to catch its gaze before it fluttered away. And something inside her stirred a small flutter of recognition. A thought drifted in. This is it. This is the moment I thought I needed to escape from, and yet here I am immersed, present, whole. She rinsed the last fork and placed it in the drying rack. Her hands wrinkled from the water, pruned like old tree bark. She ran her fingers over them and noticed how tender they felt. How alive. A tiny splash had made its way onto her shirt. She didn't wipe it off. Instead, she leaned against the counter, feeling the coolness of the stone, the stillness after the doing. No music played, no phone buzzed, no task awaited her in the next breath. Just her, and the sunlight, and the small, brave bird, who had already flown on. Sometimes, presence sneaks in through the back door of the ordinary, in warm water and soap bubbles, in the way a sponge presses against porcelain, in the pause between breaths, between thoughts, between expectations. Stillness does not demand silence. Peace does not require perfection. And mindfulness is not a practice reserved for mountaintops or meditation cushions. It lives here in the kitchen, with wrinkled fingers and leftover rice. Right now, this is enough. And so are you. Breathe in, breathe out, and carry the stillness with you. Take a deep, easy breath. Let your mind rest. Let your hands soften. There is no need to begin anything yet. Sometimes the space before the beginning holds its own quiet magic. Now imagine this. You're holding a book in your hands, and new to you, untouched, full of pages that have not yet spoken, and your fingers are on the first page. Still, listening. The room was quiet, not with silence, but with anticipation. Nina sat cross-legged on the couch, a blanket around her knees, the book resting gently in her lap. The cover was smooth, the edges still crisp, the spine uncreased. It hadn't been opened yet. Not truly. She let her fingers trace the surface. Not hurried, not nervous, and just present. She lifted the cover slowly. The way you open a door, comes to a place you've never been, but somehow already trust. The first page was blank. She paused. There was something sacred about that. The emptiness, mocking the invitation. She turned again, and there it was. The first line. Waiting. Her thumb hovered over the corner, ready to move forward, but not yet. She let the moment stretch, felt the weight of the book, felt the stillness in her body, felt the space she was about to step into. A world she hadn't met, a voice she hadn't heard. It was a journey not yet taken. There was no rush. The story would wait, and so she held the page, gently, as if it might flutter, as if it already knew her. And in that quiet pause, before reading, before knowing, she realized, this too was the story. Beginnings don't always happen when words appear. Sometimes they happen in stillness, in the breath before a sentence, in the hand holding a page, in the heart that is ready, but patient, to hold the first page of a book is to say yes to something unknown, to welcome without knowing, to open without needing. So next time a book rests in your lap, don't rush to turn the page. Hold it. Feel it. Let the silence between you and the story say everything. Because sometimes the most important part isn't what you'll read, but how fully you arrive before you begin. With each breath you take, allow yourself to arrive fully in this moment, here and now. Feel the weight of your body against the chair, the ground beneath your feet, the air gently filling and emptying your lungs. This quiet stillness is an invitation, a soft reminder to pause. As you listen, you may begin to notice the subtle rhythms of your body and the world around you, a heartbeat, a rustle, or the whisper of thoughts passing like clouds in a vast blue sky. Let go of what was and what may be, and simply be, as you settle into this space. In the heart of a small, sun-drenched kitchen, where the light spills through the window like honey onto the faded wooden table, a gentle hum resides. It is Sunday morning, a rare pause in the week, when the air is imbued with a stillness that seems to wrap itself around the home, cradling it in tranquility. A woman stands at the sink, the cool white porcelain, inviting her to engage in the simple yet profound act of washing the dishes. Each plate, each cup, holds the traces of last night's meals, remnants of laughter and stories shared. She rolls up her sleeves, feeling the soft fabric of her shirt against her skin, a delicate reminder of her presence in this space. First, she turns on the faucet, watching as water cascades down in shimmering, glistening rivulets. The sound of the water is a soft, soothing song, washing over the room, mingling with the gentle rustle of leaves outside. Closing her eyes for a moment, she arrives fully into this sensory experience, the cool air contrasting with the warmth of the sun on her back, a gentle embrace of nature. She reaches for a dish, its surface warm from the washing up, and places it under the flow of water. The sensation is invigorating as the droplets kiss her fingers, dancing away into the sink. She sees the next plate, circular and chipped, one that has served 1,000 meals, each mark a story, each crack a memory. Her mind flips through moments shared at this table, birthdays, whispered secrets, and the solace of holding hands. As the soap bubbles begin to bloom around the dish, she takes a deep breath, allowing the scent of lavender, the fragrance from the dish soap, to envelop her. It is a memory of lavender fields in summer, of warmth and openness. She sways slightly with the rhythm of the dishwashing, feeling the motion, the up and down, in tune with the symphony of this humble task. Rinsing off the plate feels like a gentle release. She watches, transfixed, as the soapy suds retreat like waves pulling back into the ocean, revealing a smooth surface that glistens in the morning light. With each rinse, she envisions washing away the accumulated residue of her thoughts, letting them drain away just as the food particles swirl down the sink. She pauses and places the plate on the drying rack, its surface still warm from the warmth of the water stirring memories. There she finds a sense of connection to all that came before, meals shared, laughter exchanged, and silence embraced. The act becomes a meditation, as a quiet realization dawns within her. Life, in its essence, is found not in grand moments but in the minutiae, the overlooked rhythms of existence. As she moves from plate to cup, cup to bowl, she embraces the tactile sensations, the smoothness of the ceramic, the crispness of the edge, the warmth beneath her finger. Each piece becomes a reminder of the way life unfolds, moment by moment, ever present, ever turning in the cycles of the day. The sounds of breakfast being prepared drift in from the other room, a soft clattering of pots and pans, the muted sizzle of oil hitting a hot pan. The aromas waft through the air, mingling with the lavender scent, as if inviting her to partake in this multi-sensory experience. There is a comfort in knowing that life continues outside this small sanctuary, but here, in this moment, she immerses herself fully, unhurried, savoring the now. A thought flutters and it carries worries, unfinished conversations, expectations of the day ahead. She acknowledges it without judgment, letting it float like a feather on a breeze, gently drifting away as she refocuses on the act of being. There is no need to chase thoughts. They are merely spectators in her observance, as she invites her awareness to settle back into the rhythm of the water and the dishes. With deliberate intention, she dips her hands into the sudsy warmth once more. As the warmth caresses her fingers, she feels a shift within her, a softening, a release. With each dish, she draws a little deeper into the essence of the moment. It is here, in the mundane, she discovers a deeper truth. The play of water, the dance of light, the song of morning all converge into a tapestry of unity. She continues. The rhythm of washing, rinsing, and placing becomes a mantra, a sacred chant echoing in the silence. Her mind quiets, and she feels the pulse of existence echoing in her heart. Each pause, each inhale and exhale, becomes a dance with the ordinary, a celebration of presence. When she approaches the last of the dishes, a simple wooden spoon, weathered yet sturdy, she reflects on its journey through countless meals, its very fibers infused with the love of all it has stirred. As she washes it clean, she envisions the warmth it has shared, the nourishment it has helped create. And in that act, she feels herself mirroring its journey, a vessel crafted by experiences, seasoned with the essence of life's flavors. As the final dish finds its place on the drying rack, the kitchen is now filled with a gentle hush. She wipes her hands dry, feeling the soft cotton of the towel absorb the excess water. In that moment, she stands still, her gaze drifting over the now gleaming dishes that reside in silent harmony. All at once, the small kitchen transforms. It is no longer just a space for cooking, but a sanctuary of tranquility, a haven where the world outside holds no sway. And then, She closes her eyes, only for a heartbeat. She listens to the soft hum of life around her, the rustle of leaves, the distant laughter of children, the gentle call of a morning bird. Everything melds into this beautiful silent symphony echoing into her being, a reminder that life is unfolding steady, like the wash of the tide, graceful and always embracing the now. As you let these images fade, notice how deeply you have touched the present moment. In the simplicity of everyday tasks, there is an invitation to return to the stillness within, a gentle reminder that life's heartbeat echoes in the quietest of actions. Remember that each moment, like the morning light spilling across the table, is an opportunity to connect, to be attentive, to simply be. And as you carry the essence of this stillness forward, may you find peace in the rhythm of your own life, carrying with you the symphony that plays, quietly and beautifully, all around. In the quiet of the morning, when the world is still draped in the gentle embrace of dawn, take a moment to settle into your breath. Feel the air as it enters your lungs, cool and refreshing, each inhalation inviting a soft fullness, each exhalation releasing the weight of yesterday. Allow your thoughts to drift like autumn leaves on a still pond, floating gently on the surface of your mind. Here, in this sacred pause, you are invited to tune into the rhythm of your being, to immerse yourself in the vast ocean of the present moment. It is here we find life unfolding, just as it is, rich with texture and beauty. Once, on a clear and sunlit afternoon, a woman named Mira found herself in a familiar cocoon of routine, one that cradled her in the comfort of the ordinary. She stood at the kitchen sink, water flowing, its gentle gurgle blending harmoniously with the soft chatter of a bird perched outside, welcoming the day with its sweet song, a reminder of the world beyond her window. The dishes were piled high, remnants of last night's supper still clinging stubbornly to their surfaces. As Mira reached for the sponge, she felt the cool, textured feel of the foam, a small comfort in its familiarity. She lifted it to the warm stream of water and watched the bubbles emerge, like tiny, joyful orbs dancing away, rising to the surface, effervescent and free. With each dish she picked up, she noticed the smooth, curved edges of the plates and the crystalline gleam of the glasses. She felt the weight of the utensils in her hands, each one bearing the history of shared meals, laughter, and love. The whimsy of memories floated into her awareness. The warmth of a friend's laughter at the dinner table, the clink of forks, the cheer of birthdays celebrated, the quiet of candle-lit evenings. All of these moments swirled together like fragrant spices in a pot, each adding depth to the simple act of washing dishes. As the water swirled around, she gently scrubbed the surface of a plate, feeling the warmth envelop her hands. She took a full breath in, the scent of the soapy water filling her senses, a blend of citrus and earthiness mingling in the air. She closed her eyes for a moment, letting the sounds of the kitchen wrap around her, water splashing, the soft clatter of dishware, and the persistent little bird still singing its song just outside the window. In this moment, there was nothing to achieve, nowhere to go. Just here, in the rhythm of washing, the simple joy of being fully engaged in the present. A warm gust of air brushed against her face as she leaned closer to the sink, and she felt the droplets of water misting her skin. As she rinsed a bowl, she noticed how the light danced upon its surface, flickering and shimmering like fireflies at dusk. This spectacle ignited a quiet astonishment within her, how the mundane could hold such magic, how the everyday could be a portal to the extraordinary. Mira realized that each touch, each movement, was a prayer of gratitude, a small reminder of the nurturing that sustains her. She paused, allowing herself to feel the beauty of her surroundings, the contrast between the cool water and the warmth of the sun streaming through the window, inviting her to engage with the present more fully. Her mind briefly flickered to thoughts of worry tasks awaiting her attention, deadlines looming like dark clouds overhead. But as quickly as they appeared, she allowed them to drift away, like leaves surrendering to the breeze. With the next breath, she came back to the dish in her hand, feeling the weight of it, noticing the soft sound of water embracing it as she rinsed away the soap. Each wash was like a gentle wave rolling onto the sharia, beckoning, or returning to this moment that belonged only to her. She savored the laughter of the water, the way it embraced each item, washing it free of its burdens. She marveled at how healing this simple act could be, how it grounded her, rooting her deeper into the earth beneath her feet. She could feel the pulse of the world around her, the heartbeats of life thrumming quietly in rhythm with her own. In the midst of her act of care, Mira became aware of a deeper lesson unfolding in her heart. The way she washed each dish mirrored the way she could wash away her own worries, the fears clinging stubbornly to her spirit. Just as she scrubbed the remnants from each plate, she could also release the remnants of a tumultuous week, letting go of the negativity that clung and setting herself free. The last dish shimmered under the gentle caress of the water, a final note in an ongoing symphony. She set it aside, feeling a wave of calm wash over her like a soft embrace. As she turned off the faucet, silence filled the kitchen once again, the gentle hum of the world outside continuing its dance. With a deep breath, Mira stepped back, gazing at the neatly arranged dishes, gleaming and clean, a testament to her mindful presence. In that moment, she saw not just her tasks, but a tapestry of life woven with intention and awareness. How every day was structured around these sacred rituals of care both for herself and those she loved. Mira leaned against the counter, allowing herself to fully inhabit this moment of reflection, recognizing the enchantment of everyday tasks, the beauty woven into the fabric of life. The soft sound of the bird's song called her gently back, anchoring her in the now. As you carry the essence of Mira's gentle journey with you, know that each moment is a whisper of still waters, inviting you to engage fully with the beauty of simply being. The ordinary, when approached with care and awareness, transforms into an exquisite recognition of life unfolding, reminding us that within each breath, within each thought, lies an opportunity for renewal. Let this grounding insight settle within you, a quiet promise to cherish the beauty of now, unfolding in a world that is ever-changing. In the stillness of this moment, invite yourself to arrive fully, as if you were taking a gentle step onto soft, sun-warmed grass. Feel the air wrap around you, cool yet comforting, filling your lungs with a quiet whisper of life. As you breathe in and out, allow your thoughts to drift like leaves floating down a slow-moving stream, each one passing, each one ungraspable. Here, in this space of presence, is where our story begins, a simple unfolding of an ordinary task made extraordinary through the lens of mindfulness. Picture the kitchen, a sunlit haven where warmth and light converge. The table is set with remnants of yesterday's feast, a melody of plates, utensils, and glasses, each awaiting the soft caress of water and soap. Step into this space and notice the rich tapestry of sensations around you. The faint hum of the refrigerator, a gentle reminder of life's continuity. The fragrant remnants of spices lingering in the air, telling stories of meals shared and memories created. As you approach the sink, the cool, smooth surface of the faucet welcomes your hand like an old friend. The faucet sparkles under the golden touch of sunlight, and as you turn the handle, the water begins to flow, simple, vital, magnificent. In this moment, let the sound of rushing water fill your ears, embracing the rhythm of its descent, an ever-present, soothing symphony. Feel the water as it spills into the basin, the ripples reflecting the light, bending and twisting with effortless grace. Everything slows down. You are invited deeper into this task, into the act of washing, a ritual, a dance of presence. As you gather the first plate, its surface cool and slightly damp from the air, allow this sensation to anchor you. Notice the design, a kaleidoscope of colors that swirl and blend, vivid reminders of joy. With the plate cradled in your hands, bring it into the embrace of the warm water. The heat contrasts with the coolness of the porcelain, sending a gentle shiver up your arm. As the suds begin to form, like tiny clouds gathering in the sky, observe their delicate nature, fragile yet buoyant, floating with abandon atop the water. In the momentary stillness, your mind may wander, a familiar companion eager to recount tales of what lies ahead or what has passed. Yet here, in this simple act of washing, there is no need to chase those thoughts. With each plate, each fork, each glass, allow yourself to return to the breath, the steady ebb and flow of your own being. Inhale deeply, noting the scent of fresh soap mingling with the crisp aroma of the water, and exhale slowly, releasing all that does not serve you in this sacred space. As you scrub the first plate, focus on the sensation of the sponge gliding over the surface. The friction creates a rhythm, a gentle back and forth that feels both grounding and liberating. An awareness blooms within you, a recognition that this task, a mundane necessity, offers a treasure trove of insight if you allow yourself to be fully present with it. The smoothness of the plate under the sponge becomes a reminder of the layers of life, some parts rough-edged, some smooth as silk. You find resonance in this experience, an echo of how we navigate through our own complexities and imperfections. With each rinse, let go of the day's burdens, the lingering weights of unspoken words or unfinished tasks. They wash away with the soap, returning to the water, to the earth. You move to the glasses, their transparency reflecting the light, dancing with the subtle hints of color from the dishes around them. Engage in the joy of seeing clearly, of understanding that each glass holds a possibility, a moment waiting to be filled with laughter, connection, or quiet reflection. The ting of glass against glass creates a soft symphony, a musical note reverberating through the air, echoing your heartbeat, a reminder that life itself is a series of interconnected moments, each worthy of your attention. As you dip the sponge into the water again, feel the weight of the world begin to lift, the delicate balance of lightness and heaviness setting you free. For a moment, get lost in this ocean of presence. It drifts you further into the embrace of mindful awareness, where the act of washing becomes a mindfulness meditation, a deepening dance with the now. Time takes on a different quality here. Minutes slip away like water through fingers, yet there is no rush to arrive anywhere else. Instead, there is only this, the warmth of the sun beating down through the window, the peaceful rhythm of water splashing and swirling in the basin, and the soothing sound of the sponge embracing each dish with tender care. With every swipe, you unearth insights about patience, about the beauty hidden in simplicity. Perhaps washing dishes is not merely a chore, but rather an invitation to meet yourself. It is a reminder that life's richness often lies in the smallest actions, and opportunity to find grace and connection in your daily routine. As the last plate shines and the dishes stack neatly on the drying rack, take a moment to appreciate your surroundings. The kitchen, once filled with remnants of meals past, now sparkles with clarity. A sense of satisfaction blooms within, a gentle affirmation that you have been present, and in that presence, you have uncovered a deeper resonance. Step back and breathe into this moment. The dishes are washed, the sink cleared, yet the echoes of this mindfulness dance linger on, filling the space with tranquility. Here in the aftermath, discover the quiet strength and stillness, a deep knowing that every moment, mundane or profound, carries with it the potential for awareness. You are grounded. You are here, alive in the symphony of life's simple pleasures. Carry this pause with you, like a soft whisper in your heart, reminding you that all is well, that within the ordinary lies the extraordinary. Take a slow, gentle breath. Let the air move through you like silence filling a dark room. Nothing to force, nothing to chase, only stillness. Now imagine this. You are in a quiet room. The lights are off. The day has ended. And in your hands is a single candle, unlit, waiting. It was evening, though it could have been any time. The kind of darkness that didn't feel heavy, just whole. A room without artificial light, walls wrapped in shadow, soft echoes from outside, the rustle of trees, the hum of distant life. Harper sat in the center of the room, a small candle in her hands. The wax was smooth, cool. The wick, untouched. She didn't light it right away. She just held it, letting the moment expand. There was no hurry, no agenda, just an invitation to meet the darker without fear. She struck a match. The sound sharp, brief, familiar. A small flame bloomed into being. She cupped it against the air, then brought it slowly to the candle's waiting wick. They met. The flame hesitated, wavered, then took. It wasn't bright, but it was alive. The shadows on the walls shifted. The wax began to warm. The flame danced, not for attention, but simply because that is what flames do. Harper sat back, watched. There was nothing else to see. And yet, everything was here. The flicker, the rhythm, the way the flame leaned with the smallest motion in the room. then returned upright, palms centered again. She breathed in the scent of wax, a faint warmth in the air, the quiet that follows a beginning. She didn't think, didn't plan. She let the light show her how to stay still without being stagnant, how to move without chasing anything. Sometimes the most powerful light is not the one that fills the room, but the one that flickers gently in one small corner and asks nothing of you but presence. The flame doesn't try to be more. It simply is. Alive. Enough. So the next time you find yourself in the dark, literally or otherwise, strike a match. Light a single candle. Watch it sway. And let it remind you that peace doesn't come from brightness, but from noticing the light that's already here. Flickering. Faithful. Unrushed. In the soft embrace of a Sunday morning, the world lies still, as though holding its breath. Close your eyes for a moment, and imagine the soft tickle of sunlight filtering through the curtains, dappling the floor with warmth. In this sacred pause, let your body find a comfortable seat, your spine straight but relaxed. Breathe deeply, inviting the fragrant air of possibility into your lungs, and as you exhale, let go of anything that weighs on your heart. In this space, everything is as it should be. There is nowhere to rush, no worries tugging at your mind, only the gentle pull of the present moment. With each breath, allow yourself to settle into a quiet knowing that you are here, and that here is a good place to be. On a day like any other, soft golden light shines through the kitchen window, illuminating the gentle dance of dust motes in the air, tiny travelers on unseen currents. It is a quiet morning, a day set aside for simple things. You stand by the sink, a familiar and comforting place, where the ordinary steps of dishwashing unfold before you like a slow unfolding flower. The dishes await, a humble collection of well-loved plates and bowls, each carrying whispers of yesterday's meals, a simple affair, but rich with the essence of life. You turn on the tap, and the water spills forth, a clear cascade that tumbles and rejoices, its sound a gentle symphony of nature, the soft patter washing away the stillness of the air. You feel the temperature, a delicate balance between cool and warm, the water inviting as it caresses your fingertips. As you reach for the first plate, a cool ceramic surface that feels smooth to touch, you take a moment to be with it. You let your eyes roam over its edges, the small nicks that speak of time shared, and you hear the faint echoes of laughter and conversation embraced within its curves. In this moment, the act of washing dishes becomes an invitation to appreciate the beauty of the mundane, where every movement of your hands possesses its own significance. You place the plate into the warm water, the surface swirling with suds, like little clouds gathering on the horizon of your thoughts. With each stroke of the sponge, the gentle scrubbing reveals not just a plate, but a lineage of memories, a family dinner filled with stories, the laughter of friends sharing food, the quiet meals of solitude where you found peace in your own company. The scents of soap mingle with the warmth of the water, filling your senses, anchoring you in this moment. The suds rise and fall beneath your hands, and as you rinse away the bubble remnants, you watch how the water drips delicately from the plate back into the sink, a soothing echo of life returning to itself. It is a cycle, an invitation to be present in this washing, this unfolding ritual that many have performed before you. You catch the sound of the water running, a tranquil brook murmuring secrets just for you. Letting your senses heighten, you inhale deeply once more, feeling the air fill your lungs, rich and alive. Aware of the present, you hold the rinsed plate in your hands for a moment, droplets gleaming like tiny crystals in the morning light. You place it on the drying rack with care, like a small offering to the sanctuary of your home. And then, the next dish awaits. An intricate bowl shaped like a gentle wave, a vessel that held your morning cereal, the grains of simplicity that nourished you. You cradle it with both hands, feeling the gentle outline smooth beneath your fingertips. Here, you allow yourself to feel the delicate history etched into its surface, the warmth still lingering from being part of your breakfast routine. As you wash, each stroke becomes a meditation, deliberate and rich with intention, the vibrations of your movements harmonizing with the rhythm of the water. Each time you reach for the sponge, there comes a subtle release, a drifting thought of worry or distraction, a gentle lightness that tells you it's okay to let go, even for a moment. The mind may wander, but like a leaf caught in a gentle breeze, it always finds its way back to the steadiness of your breath. The conversations with your body arise, the way the muscles in your arms respond with gratitude for the movement, the simple act of being alive and engaged. As you place the bowl aside to dry, the tap continues to release its steady stream. You are aware now, more than ever, of the way water, this pure element, nourishes not only the soil but your very soul, reminding you of life's essential flow, ever-changing, yet constant. Each flick of your wrist as you wring out the sponge serves as a reminder that control is an illusion. You can only interact and engage with what is present to you. You stand a little taller, and for a heartbeat, everything seems to align. A feeling of belonging unfolds somewhere deep inside. There is joy here, in this act of cleaning, this ceremony of care that connects you to those you love and to yourself. You close your eyes for a moment, allowing the sounds of water and the scent of soap to paint a tapestry of gratitude within you. And then, the pot awaits the final dish, burnished and heavy with the remnants of what was once a hearty meal. You hold it under the water, allowing it to soak for a moment, and as you stand there, the warmth of the water against your skin and the earthy weight of the pot in your hands draw you deeper into this existence. It is in this stillness that you realize the power of mindfulness. It is not in grand gestures or lofty goals, but in the small and simply gentle embrace of now, the awareness of each touch and each breath. As you begin to scrub the bottom of the pot, the steadfast swish of sponge against ceramic creates a rhythm, a flow that mirrors your own heart. With each gentle motion, you invite thoughts to pass like clouds across the sky, without attachment, without judgment, a sky that remains clear and limitless. You lose track of time, wrapped in this cocoon of presence, where the world outside fades into the background. You scrub, rinse, and dry, feeling each sensation, the warm water cascading, your fingers gliding, every sound reverberating through the stillness. Your mind, once so tangled in its endless thoughts and worries, starts to clear, revealing the beauty of this very moment. As you finish washing and begin to place the last dish on the drying rack, there comes a faint invitation from outside, a bird's song, light and sweet, a reminder of life fluttering energetically just beyond your kitchen window. You find yourself smiling, a connection bridging the quiet space of your home with the vibrant call of the world outside. In this tender lull, as the last drop of water clings to the porcelain, it becomes blindingly clear the ordinary activities, the quiet moments of washing dishes, of nurturing your living space, are invitations into the richness of life itself. They remind you to be present, to appreciate the small joys that come and go like ripples in the water. And so, as you step back for a moment, surveying the neat rows of clean plates, bowls, and utensils, your heart swells with a profound sense of satisfaction. Here, in the embrace of your kitchen, you have washed not only dishes, but the layers of the mind thoughts have ebbed and flowed, only to reveal the calm, clear essence of being. As you let the warmth of the sun wrap around you, a peaceful realization settles in like a gentle tide. The act of living, the mundane and the extraordinary, invites you to immerse yourself wholly, to wash away distractions, to allow life to unfold in its own rhythm. Remember this feeling, this space of presence as you move forward into your day, knowing that every moment is a gift waiting to be cherished. With each step beyond the kitchen, carry the whisper of water within you, a reminder to always return to the tranquility found in the present, for therein lies the essence of being whole. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Let your breath arrive like soft rain on a rooftop. No need to be anywhere else. Let the air around you wrap gently around your skin. Feel your feet grounded. Let your hands rest. Let your shoulders fall. Sometimes peace doesn't come from escape, but from returning to the most ordinary, unguarded moments. Now, let's step into one such moment, where the floor meets the cloth, and the present moment finds its way in. The morning was slow. Rain had been tapping the windows since dawn, not in torrents, but in a gentle, persistent rhythm like fingers drumming softly on glass. Mai had nowhere urgent to be. The weekend had arrived, and with it, a quiet that didn't need to be filled. She looked around the apartment. Small, lived in, peaceful. Her eyes fell to the floor. A few crumbs, a muddy footprint near the door. It wasn't dirty, not really, but something in her wanted to care for it. She fetched a bucket of warm water, a soft cotton cloth, and a few drops of lavender oil. The scent rose as the water swirled, calming, earthy. She knelt and placed the cloth on the floor. Her knees met the ground with a soft thud. Her body already began to slow. The first motion was small, a gentle press, then a sweep, left to right. The cloth glided across the surface, carrying with it dust, memory, movement. Mai's breath began to sync with the motion. Inhale, gather. Exhale, release. She noticed the grain of the wooden floor, the way it caught the light just faintly from the gray sky outside. She wiped near the baseboard, where specks of dust often gathered like quiet secrets. Each motion became its own meditation. Her mind began to wander. A friend she hadn't called, a decision she hadn't made. But she noticed the thoughts. She didn't chase them. She returned to the cloth, to the warm water, to the floor, meeting her fingertips. There was no background music, only the rain and the occasional creak of the apartment settling. She paused, all Saturday back on her heels. Her hands smelled faintly of lavender. She looked around. The floor wasn't perfect. There were still scuffs, but it felt cared for. And strangely, so did she. Sometimes, tending to the outer world becomes a way of tending to the inner one. There is no applause for wiping a floor, no medal for moving slowly, but there is a reward, a quieting, a remembering that healing doesn't always arrive as lightning. Sometimes it comes on hands and knees, with warm water and intention. And when the floor is clean, you don't just rise with less dust beneath you. Off you rise a little lighter within. The world outside may still rain, but inside, off there is space and peace. In this moment, let us pause and breathe. Allow your breath to flow in and out like the gentle ebb and flow of a tide, carrying with it the worries and distractions that often crowd our minds. Feel the surface beneath you solid, unwavering, grounding you in the present. With each inhalation, draw in clarity. With each exhalation, release the weight of yesterday and the anticipation of tomorrow. Here, in this shared stillness, we prepare to embark on a journey through the ordinary, where the simplest act can reveal the profound beauty of being. In a small kitchen, the sunlight gently filters through a window, casting delicate patterns on the tiles. The sweet scent of fresh oranges lingers in the air, remnants of a breakfast gently concluded. The sound of soft water flowing from the faucet begins to fill the space, each droplet punctuating the silence. This is the moment when Clara steps up to the sink, the task at hand simple yet rich with possibility. Today, she will wash the dishes. As she rolls up her sleeves, she feels the coolness of the porcelain bowl beneath her fingertips, grounding her in this small sanctuary. The dishes, a colorful array of mismatched plates and bowls, tell their own stories of meals shared and laughter exchanged. One by one, she picks them up, noticing the small impressions of fingerprints, tiny marks of connection left behind. Each piece is not merely a vessel, it is a memory, a snapshot in the ongoing narrative of her life. She turns on the tap, and water streams forth, warm and inviting. The sound is like a gentle rain falling on a summer day, soothing in its continuity. Clara submerges the first dish in the warm water and feels the shock of the contrasting temperatures. The cool ceramic turns warm in her hands. She inhales deeply, allowing the warmth to seep into her body, as if the very essence of the sun has captured itself within this bowl. The sponge, pliable and soft, glides over the surface, creating small bubbles that dance and swirl like tiny clouds in a vast sky. Each stroke becomes a meditation, a moment of focus carved out of the day. The suds rise and froth, sparkling in the sunlight, and Clara marvels at how something so mundane can exhibit such beauty. The noise of the world fades. It is only her, the water, and the rhythm of the task. As she rinses the first plate, the water cascades off it like liquid crystal, forming tiny droplets that race down its edge, a brief but beautiful journey before they splatter into the basin below. Clara thinks of how the water, source of life, carries with it the lessons of resilience and flow. It bends around obstacles, glides over rocks, never resentful of the paths it must take. In that moment, she imagines herself as the water, flowing, unencumbered by the weight of expectation. With every dish, she becomes aware of the texture, the coarse, gritty remnants of a meal now long past, the smooth glass of a cup that has witnessed countless sips and conversations. The sensations evoke thoughts of journeys taken, of stories shared over meals, of changes that come silently, like shifting tides. Clara's mind drifts to friends who have moved away, yet their laughter echoes softly in the corners of her heart. The gentle sound of water washing over porcelain draws her back, returning her to the present. The rhythmic sound of water continues, lapping against the sides of the sink, whispering secrets of tranquility. Clara allows her breath to find its own rhythm, syncing with the sound, letting thoughts come and go like clouds drifting across the sky. She watches her hands carry out their simple task, noticing the small creases in her skin, the journey of time etched into each line. This body has served her well. She realizes carrying her through life's ebbs and flows, just like the water she holds now. As she finishes the last dish, she stands for a moment, surveying her work. The kitchen sparkles under the gentle glow of sunlight, all traces of the meal gone, replaced by a sense of clarity and order. The water runs clear now, a mirror reflecting the change that unfolds in the everyday. Clara takes a step back and feels the cool air touch her skin, a breeze mingling with warmth still lingering in the space. A gentle moment of gratitude blooms in her chest, soft and bright like the morning star breaking dawn. She turns off the faucet, the last splashes of water retreating, leaving the world outside serene and unhurried. This task, so simple, has transformed into a mindful exploration, a journey through the senses that holds a depth she could only begin to understand. A realization settles in. It's not solely about the dishes or the chore completed, but rather the connection to the moment, a deep-seated awareness that runs beneath the surface of daily life. Clearing the sink, Clara wipes her hands on a kitchen towel, feeling the fabric against her skin, grounding her as she steps back into the world that awaits her. The gentle hum of the outside world beckons, scars trundling, leaves rustling, birds singing their morning chorus. She carries with her a sense of stillness, a reminder that each moment holds beauty, ripe for noticing if one chooses to lean in, to be present. As Clara steps away from the kitchen, a quiet reflection blooms within her. Life is an accumulation of these small moments, the ordinary act made extraordinary through the lens of awareness. In the dance of water and light, she finds solace, realizing that presence is the ultimate gift, one that transforms simple tasks into a tapestry woven from experience, sensation, and love. And as she moves forward, she carries this gentle wisdom, the understanding that in each pause, in each breath, there lies the potential for peace. In this moment, as you settle into your seat, take a gentle breath, a soft inhalation that fills your body with the essence of now. Allow your exhale to carry away the weight of the past, the worries about the future. Here, in this space, let every sound become a note in a greater symphony, each sensation a delicate brushstroke on the canvas of the present. Feel the chair beneath you, the texture of your clothing against your skin. Notice how the air, cool or warm, wraps around you like a gentle embrace. In this moment, nothing is required of you but to be. Imagine a late afternoon in a small kitchen where the sunlight dances through the window. It spills softly onto the countertop, illuminating a stack of dishes resting quietly in the sink, an array of plates, glasses, and utensils, remnants of meals shared and laughter exchanged. The scene is simple yet filled with a subtle beauty, a life well lived. You stand before the sink, each item waiting patiently for your attention. As you turn on the faucet, water cascades down like a gentle waterfall, the sound a delicate melody that echoes in the quiet space. You feel the warmth of the water as you dip your hands in, noticing how it envelops your skin, a gentle caress that wakes your senses. With each dish you pick up, notice its weight, the smoothness of ceramic, the coolness of glass. The first plate in your hands is still decorated with playful remnants of the meal, a memory of laughter, perhaps the spicy essence of last night's curry. You hold it with care, as if recognizing it as a part of a larger story, your story. You scrub, letting the sponge glide against its surface, releasing the remains of the past with each stroke, and you breathe in the fresh scent of the soap, a pleasant aroma that fills the air around you. The light changes subtly, golden, as the sun begins its descent, casting long shadows that stretch across the floor like gentle fingers. Each dish you wash becomes an opportunity to anchor yourself further into the present. As you rinse the last remnants of soap from the plate, you feel the water trickle down your arms, a playful splash that draws a small smile to your face. You set the plate aside, watching as it gleams in the lighter reflection of the care you have taken. Then you pick up a glass, transparent and fragile, its surface flecked with tiny rainbows reflecting off the sun. You can hear the soft tinkling of water as it fills, and for a moment, all thought of future tasks fades away. Next, you care for a fork, a simple piece of metal that has traveled with you through meals, both hurried and leisurely. Its coolness contrasts with the warmth of your hand. Each movement you make is steady, intentional, allowing the experience to unfold. The rhythm of your actions begins to blend with your breath, a dance of sorts that feels both serene and purposeful. As the world outside the window continues with its busyness, cars passing, children laughing, the faint echo of a dog barking, you find a stillness, a sanctuary in this small kitchen. The sounds become gentle guides, not distractions, but subtle reminders of life flowing around you, and you accept them as part of this moment without judgment. In the quiet reflection, you might even see how washing dishes, a mundane task, can transform into a practice of presence. The water flows, the dishes become lighter in your hands, and with each completed task, there is a sensation of release. You begin to understand that this act is not something to rush, nor a chore to avoid. It is a precious interval where you can lose yourself in the dance of simplicity. There is a pause, a moment of stillness. You set the sponge down and look around the kitchen, the sunlight painting golden patterns on the walls. You observe the small details, the way the shadows move with the waning light, how the reflections seem to dance upon the surfaces. The stillness envelops you like a warm blanket, a reminder that in the hum of daily life, there lies a sanctuary of calm. You draw in a breath, and it feels deep and fulfilling. As you exhale, your shoulders relax, and the weight of the day begins to dissipate. The dishes now gleam quietly, waiting to be put away, a symbol of your mindfulness, your attention, the loving care that transforms an ordinary task into an experience filled with mindfulness. There's a knowing that washes over you, a gentle assurance that life, even in its simplest forms, can harbor profound moments of clarity and peace. Each dish completed, each droplet that clings and drips, becomes evidence of your presence in this world, a reminder that you are here, right now. As you take one last look at the shimmering dishes, remember the quiet symphony of your afternoon. Each ordinary action carries with it the potential for beauty, the space to breathe and simply be. Allow this sense of presence to wash over you, grounding you in the richness of the moment. Carry this stillness with you, and in it, find a piece of yourself always waiting, always present, ready to embrace whatever unfolds. In this very moment, as you breathe in and out, allow yourself to arrive fully in the space you occupy. Let the gentle rhythm of your breath guide you, feeling the air as it enters your lungs fresh, alive, and invigorating. Notice how it flows out, carrying with it any chatter of the mind. Here, in this pause, you can embrace stillness, a sanctuary amidst the busyness of life. Allow your awareness to soften, resting on the sensations of your body. Allow the sounds around you to become an integral part of the moment, whispering the melody of your existence. In the simplicity of mindful presence, we will explore a story, a tapestry woven through the thread of now. It was an afternoon not unlike any other one, where the sun hung lazily in the sky, casting golden rays across the kitchen countertop, illuminating the gathering of dishes awaiting their cleansing. The soft clink of porcelain, as they shifted slightly, echoed in the quiet of the house, a gentle invitation to engage with the mundane yet sacred act of washing. As she approached the sink, a woman named Clara, felt the warmth of light envelop her, imbuing each shimmering surface with a comfort that dimmed the edges of her thoughts. She rolled up her sleeves, the fabric brushing against her skin, a soothing reminder of her presence. Clara filled the basin with warm water, watching as the surface rippled, a dance initiated by her movements. The water glistened, an inviting pula promise of renewal. With each dish she picked up, a kaleidoscope of sensations washed over her. The coolness of the plate balanced against the warmth of the soap as she first submerged it. She could hear the gentle swish of water, the faint sound of dishes sloshing, forming a kind of lullaby that lulled her deeper into the present. Bubbles began to form, tiny orbs floating like dreams around her fingers, and she immersed herself in the sensation, feeling the smoothness of the ceramic glide against the textured skin of her hands. As she scrubbed, the rhythmic sound of the brush against the plate provided a cadence to her thoughts. Each stroke seemed to carve out a space within her, where worries scattered like leaves in the wind. She noticed how effortless it was to surrender to this moment, letting the to-do lists and obligations dissolve, just like the grime on the dish. In her mind's eye, images of each meal shared over these dishes blossomed and flickered. The clattering of forks, laughter ringing like chimes, and heartfelt conversations exchanged, nourishing not just the body but the soul. The memories washed over her as waves, each one a reminder of the beauty embedded in simplicity, a shared meal, a quiet touch, a moment of connection. A drop of water splashed against her cheek. Clara smiled, embracing the unexpected surprise. Here, she was not merely cleaning, she was participating in a deeper act of stewardship over the life she had crafted. The sink became a reservoir of past memories and present awareness, a conduit for gratitude. As the soap slipped from her fingers, she felt a gentle itch rise within her thoughts, nudging for her attention. "What about the laundry?" nudged one. "Did you remember to call your sister?" prompted another. Instead of grasping at them, Clara chose to acknowledge each thought as it floated by, treating them like leaves drifting on a stream, present but not demanding her immersion. This moment, this simple act of washing held the potential of mindfulness, an opportunity to embrace everything just as it was. With each circling motion of her hands, she embodied a dialogue with the universe, of giving and letting go. The patterns of bubbles mirrored her inner landscape, undulating, rising, and bursting as she released all that no longer served her in this moment. The scent of the soap wafted in the air, a sweet aroma mingling with the faint scent of fresh-cut herbs from the garden outside, breezes wandering in through the open window. Clara closed her eyes for a breath, inhaling deeply, feeling the life around her vibrant, breathing, and alive. The sounds of the world outside the kitchen, the distant laughter of children playing, the quiet rustling of leaves in the garden, and even the low hum of a car passing were woven into her own breath. In this meditative state, time felt elastic, stretching and contracting in rhythm with her movements. As she immersed one dish after another into the warm water, an acceptance arose within that life is intimate, composed of these tender, fluid moments of connection. Each bowl, each cup, became vessels not only of meals but of memories, a life shared, not alone. As she reached for the last plate, a deep sense of satisfaction swelled inside her, radiating warmth that enveloped each thought. With the final dish cleansed and placed upon the drying rack, Clara allowed herself to pause. She gazed at the shimmering array of dishes, the droplets catching the light like tiny stars scattered across a night sky. A sense of completeness settled in her chest. This simple act of washing the dishes, oft overlooked in the chaos of daily life, was a meditation in itself. In these moments of stillness, of presence, she recognized the capacity to find beauty in routine, to unearth grace in obligations. Clara turned off the tap, the soft sound of water trickling to silence. The house now held an atmosphere of tranquility, each corner touched by the afterglow of mindfulness. There, in the quiet clank of the faucet, she had learned again that life is not merely what we do, but how we choose to be within it. As she stepped back from the sink, a gentle smile graced her lips, and within her heart, a lingering peace anchored deep. Life, she realized, unfolds in the most ordinary of moments, and within the smallest acts lies the potential for profound connection. In the rhythm of washing dishes, in the simple pleasure of being present, she discovered the essence of mindfulness, a tender embrace of what is, and a celebration of being here now. In this moment, let us pause and breathe. Allow your breath to flow in and out like the gentle ebb and flow of a tide, carrying with it the worries and distractions that often crowd our minds. Feel the surface beneath you solid, unwavering, grounding you in the present. With each inhalation, draw in clarity. With each exhalation, release the weight of yesterday and the anticipation of tomorrow. Here, in this shared stillness, we prepare to embark on a journey through the ordinary, where the simplest act can reveal the profound beauty of being. In a small kitchen, the sunlight gently filters through a window, casting delicate patterns on the tiles. The sweet scent of fresh oranges lingers in the air, remnants of a breakfast gently concluded. The sound of soft water flowing from the faucet begins to fill the space, each droplet punctuating the silence. This is the moment when Clara steps up to the sink, the task at hand simple yet rich with possibility. Today, she will wash the dishes. As she rolls up her sleeves, she feels the coolness of the porcelain bowl beneath her fingertips, grounding her in this small sanctuary. The dishes, a colorful array of mismatched plates and bowls, tell their own stories of meals shared and laughter exchanged. One by one, she picks them up, noticing the small impressions of fingerprints, tiny marks of connection left behind. Each piece is not merely a vessel, it is a memory, a snapshot in the ongoing narrative of her life. She turns on the tap, and water streams forth, warm and inviting. The sound is like a gentle rain falling on a summer day, soothing in its continuity. Clara submerges the first dish in the warm water and feels the shock of the contrasting temperatures. The cool ceramic turns warm in her hands. She inhales deeply, allowing the warmth to seep into her body, as if the very essence of the sun has captured itself within this bowl. The sponge, pliable and soft, glides over the surface, creating small bubbles that dance and swirl like tiny clouds in a vast sky. Each stroke becomes a meditation, a moment of focus carved out of the day. The suds rise and froth, sparkling in the sunlight, and Clara marvels at how something so mundane can exhibit such beauty. The noise of the world fades. It is only her, the water, and the rhythm of the task. As she rinses the first plate, the water cascades off it like liquid crystal, forming tiny droplets that race down its edge, a brief but beautiful journey before they splatter into the basin below. Clara thinks of how the water, source of life, carries with it the lessons of resilience and flow. It bends around obstacles, glides over rocks, never resentful of the paths it must take. In that moment, she imagines herself as the water, flowing, unencumbered by the weight of expectation. With every dish, she becomes aware of the texture, the coarse, gritty remnants of a meal now long past, the smooth glass of a cup that has witnessed countless sips and conversations. The sensations evoke thoughts of journeys taken, of stories shared over meals, of changes that come silently, like shifting tides. Clara's mind drifts to friends who have moved away, yet their laughter echoes softly in the corners of her heart. The gentle sound of water washing over porcelain draws her back, returning her to the present. The rhythmic sound of water continues, lapping against the sides of the sink, whispering secrets of tranquility. Clara allows her breath to find its own rhythm, syncing with the sound, letting thoughts come and go like clouds drifting across the sky. She watches her hands carry out their simple task, noticing the small creases in her skin, the journey of time etched into each line. This body has served her well. She realizes, carrying her through life's ebbs and flows, just like the water she holds now. As she finishes the last dish, she stands for a moment, surveying her work. The kitchen sparkles under the gentle glow of sunlight, all traces of the meal gone, replaced by a sense of clarity and order. The water runs clear now, a mirror reflecting the change that unfolds in the everyday. Clara takes a step back and feels the cool air touch her skin, a breeze mingling with warmth still lingering in the space. A gentle moment of gratitude blooms in her chest, soft and bright like the morning star breaking dawn. She turns off the faucet, the last splashes of water retreating, leaving the world outside serene and unhurried. This task, so simple, has transformed into a mindful exploration, a journey through the senses that holds a depth she could only begin to understand. A realization settles in. It's not solely about the dishes or the chore completed, but rather the connection to the moment, a deep-seated awareness that runs beneath the surface of daily life. Clearing the sink, Clara wipes her hands on a kitchen towel, feeling the fabric against her skin, grounding her as she steps back into the world that awaits her. The gentle hum of the outside world beckons scars trundling, leaves rustling, birds singing their morning chorus. She carries with her a sense of stillness, a reminder that each moment holds beauty, ripe for noticing if one chooses to lean in, to be present. As Clara steps away from the kitchen, a quiet reflection blooms within her. Life is an accumulation of these small moments, the ordinary act made extraordinary through the lens of awareness. In the dance of water and light, she finds solace, realizing that presence is the ultimate gift, one that transforms simple tasks into a tapestry woven from experience, sensation, and love. And as she moves forward, she carries this gentle wisdom, the understanding that in each pause, in each breath, there lies the potential for peace. In this moment, take a gentle breath. Allow your body to find its natural rhythm as you sit or stand, becoming aware of the earth beneath you and the air that softly cradles you. Let go of your day, your thoughts, and step into an oasis of stillness, where the ordinary blooms with life. In this space, allow your senses to awaken. Listen closely, feel deeply, and let this unfolding moment welcome you as it gently unfolds its story. In the early hours of a quiet Wednesday morning, the sun rose over the horizon, casting its golden glow through the kitchen window. The world was held in a soft embrace, the gentle hum of the refrigerator, a faithful companion in the stillness. Outside, a lone bird began to sing, its melody weaving through the air, tender and soothing, like a silken thread connecting heartbeats to the day ahead. At the sink, the warm water flowed, wrapping around the fingertips of Emma as she prepared for the rhythm of the day. Each dish awaited her, touch plates and cups, forks and knives, all imbued with stories whispered from meals shared, laughter, and moments of connection. As she turned the faucet, the liquid glided and shimmered, catching the light in playful dances. Close your eyes and imagine it for a moment, each droplet a tiny jewel proclaiming its existence. As she picked up the first plate, Emma felt the cool ceramic against her palms, a contrast to the warmth of the water that flowed around it. She took a moment to observe the dish of faint blue pattern curling at the edges, remnants of a breakfast long past. Here was a canvas, a snapshot of life's simple offerings. She drew in a deep breath, savoring the familiar scent of lavender dish soap mingling with the Ira whisper of calm, inviting her to sink deeper into the present. Slowly, she began to scrub, the sponge gliding across the surface, creating tiny whirlpools, the sound of its soft texture against the plate reverberating in the stillness. With each gentle stroke, she noticed the sensazione, delicate pressure, the dance of friction and smoothness, the quiet rhythm of the task at hand. It was sometimes easy to overlook the beauty in the mundane, but here, in this moment, everything seemed alive. The water soaked the sponge, little bubbles rising like thoughts, effervescent and transient, each one releasing its essence as they burst. Emma closed her eyes, letting the moment carry her into a deeper awareness. She could feel the warmth of the sun filtering through the window, its rays kissing her skin, the warmth radiating like a soft hug. There was no rush here, no urgency, just the embrace of simple acts, the routine woven into the fabric of her day. With every dish she washed, she released the weight of yesterday's concerns. Each scrub plate, a letting go. As she moved to the next item, a chipped muga reminder of her favorite tea rituals, she recognized the stories that lingered in its being. She could almost hear the laughter shared over cups of chamomile on a rainy afternoon, the quiet moments spent lost in the pages of a book. She took her time, scrubbing and rinsing, allowing the memories to wash over her like the water flowing from the faucet. The steam rose from the sink, enveloping her in warmth, while outside, she could hear the soft rustle of leaves, the gentle stir of wind that danced through the trees. Each sound brought her further into presence, deeper into a connection with the world around her. She became aware of the gentle play of light on the counter, the reflections shifting and swirling like thoughts in her mind. Not everything needed to be organized or understood. Sometimes just embracing the chaos was enough. And then, a flicker of thought entered her mind, and instead of pushing it away, she simply watched it pass like a cloud in the sky. Ah, there it goes, formed, yet fleeting. A reminder that thoughts too have their own rhythm, their own rise and fall, just like the bubbles in the water, one moment here, and then gone. As she reached for another dish, she noticed her breath flowing in and out, a gentle tide. There was a rhythm to Ida, calling back to herself. She let her breath guide her movements, matching the simplicity of the act with the softness of the inhale and exhale. This was meditation in action, a presence found in the heart of the everyday. Time slowed, and the world outside seemed to fade. The sound of a distant car, the rustle of paper, and the chirp of the bird, each one became a note in her symphony of awareness. Emma allowed herself to become fully absorbed, surrendering to the sensations, the warmth of the water, the texture of the sponge, the weight of the dish in her hands. And then, there was the moment of completion, her sink filled not only with clean dishes but with a sense of fullness, a gentle satisfaction that came from being fully present. She wiped her hands on a kitchen towel, watching the water droplets cling stubbornly to the fabric for a heartbeat longer before they surrendered to gravity. Everything felt complete, yet ever-changing, like the cycle of day and night, ebbing and flowing. Emma paused, her gaze settling out the window, where the world was awakening in all its vibrant colors. The grass glistened with dew, and the trees swayed gently, their leaves whispering secrets to one another. In that moment, everything felt interconnected, as if the mundane act of washing dishes was a thread tying her to the larger tapestry of life. In this stillness, she felt the pulse of gratitude bloom in her chest, a small bud unfurling, revealing its delicate petals to the sun. It was born from the recognition that in the act of washing the dishes, she had touched something deeper, something profoundly simple. The dishes had invited her to the known invitation to notice, to appreciate, and to be. So as the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting its warmth into the world, Emma carried with her the essence of the ordinary, each moment a treasure, each act a chance to connect. Let this moment settle in your own heart, a reminder that within the simplicity of life's tasks lies profound beauty. You too can return to the present, finding whispers of peace amid the ebb and flow of everyday rhythms. And in this stillness, may you know that you are always welcome, here, now, just as you are. In the gentle embrace of a quiet afternoon, take a moment to settle into the stillness that surrounds you. As you breathe in, feel the air, fill your lungs, a soft invitation to be present. Let each breath carry away the tension of the day, grounding you in this very moment. Let your thoughts drift like leaves on a stream, and invite your attention to the sensations of your body, the rhythm of your heart, and the whispers of the world around you. In this tranquil space, allow yourself to listen deeply to the gentle unfolding of life. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and vibrant fields, there lived a woman named Ilara. She spent her days tending a modest garden adorned with herbs and flowers, a hidden sanctuary where time flowed gently like the brook nearby. Each morning, as the sun unwrapped its golden rays over the rooftops, she would step outside, feeling the cool earth beneath her bare feet, grounding her to the present. One crisp morning, as dew sparkled like diamonds on the petals of her marigolds, Ilara found a sense of stillness within her bustling mind. Today, she would harvest the herbs she had nurtured, preparing to make a fragrant tea to share with her neighbors. She paused for a brief moment, inhaling the perfume of lavender swirling in the air, and she closed her eyes, letting the warmth of the sun envelop her like a soft blanket. Gently kneeling upon the earth, she submerged her fingers into the cool soil, feeling its texture gritty and moist. As she pulled away the herbs, their vivid greens bright against the browns of the ground, she paused to notice the sweetness of their scent drifting up to meet her. Each plant seemed to whisper its own story, full of resilience and life, as she carefully severed their stems, a quiet act of gratitude for their nourishment. What followed was a simple ritual. Ilara gathered her harvest into a woven basket made by her grandmother's hands. With each sprig she tucked in, she felt a subtle gratitude curling within her. With the basket now brimming with freshness, she made her way toward the small kitchen that opened into her gardenia space, where the sun would often cast playful shadows across the countertops. Inside, the world felt hushed, its rhythm woven into the tick-tock of the nearby clock. Ilara moved with intention, her hands seeking out an old kettle, its surface slightly tarnished, yet rich with history. She filled it with water, noticing the gentle splash as it cascaded into the kettle, a soothing sound that harmonized with the soft rustle of leaves outside. Placing the kettle on the stove, she lit a match, the sound crisp in the silence, and felt the moment pulse with the promise of warmth. As the flame flickered to life, She focused on the kettle's soft glow, the fire dancing as if in a meditative waltz. In this space, a thought lingered: how often we rush through life, buried in the demands of the day, forgetting the beauty of simple moments. How remarkable it is to experience the mundane as extraordinary, to pause and know that even the tiniest fragment of life, a breath, a sound, a flicker of light, holds the entirety of existence within it. The kettle began to hum softly, a prelude to the boiling, and Ilara turned her attention to her basket. Gently, she cradled the herbs, feeling their edges the slight prick of rosemary mixed with the soothing softness of chamomile. The texture spoke to her, each leaf possessing a presence, a story, a connection. With care, she began to prepare the tea. Ilara took her time, reveling in the clink of the knife against the cutting board as she chopped the herbs into small pieces. Their scents filled the air, a mingling of earthiness and brightness. She noticed each blend, observing how the world expanded around her walls that appeared to dissolve, leaving her immersed in the rhythm of the moment. As she poured the water over the herbs, a swirl of steam curled upward, wrapping her in a warmth that felt like a hug from the universe. She could almost hear the whispers of gratitude from each plant, celebrating their transformation, a delicate interplay between nature and nurture. Ilara allowed herself to be still, noticing the way the steam danced, curling in the air like the thoughts that floated through her mind, sometimes clear and sharp, at other moments soft and fluttering, as transient as the steam dispersing into the air. She watched with wide eyes as the vibrant greens of her concoction unfurled into the water, releasing their color as if sharing their essence, their very being. In the corner of the kitchen, a window framed a view of the garden, the flowers swaying gently in the breeze, sending whispers of movement and life into the room. And there, as she took a moment to steep in the stillness, she felt the presence of the day glide through her, the pulse of existence reminding her that every moment carries its unique beauty. After allowing the tea to steep to her liking, she poured it into 2 delicate cups, one for herself and one for a cherished neighbor known for her laughter and stories, a woman who taught Ilara the art of savoring life's simple pleasures. As she moved toward the door, carrying the 2 cups, she sensed the cool air brushing against her skin, a reminder of the living world beyond her kitchen. Upon stepping outside, she glanced at her garden, the vibrant hues reflecting the light of the sun as it began its descent. The beauty of the flowers washed over her, unearthing a deep well of appreciation. Her heart filled with an uncomplicated joy, the realization dawning upon her that in every small act, whether it be harvesting herbs, brewing tea, or sharing warmth with another, lay the essence of life itself. Each footstep toward her neighbor's house felt like a meditation, the sound of her bare feet padding softly against the weathered path echoing in her ears. She inhaled the fragrance of newly baked bread wafting through the open windows of nearby homes, mingling with the uproar of laughter and the gentle strum of a guitar. With each step she became aware of the richness of the moment, the softness of the breeze, the play of sunlight painting her skin, and the distant melody of birds beginning to wind down at the approach of dusk. She paused for a heartbeat, noticing not just the sights and sounds, but the sensations that arose within her, a flourishing warmth in her chest, the pulsation of vitality humming through her veins. Finally, she reached her neighbor's door, heart light, teacups held gently in both hands. Knocking softly, she could already sense the warmth radiating from within, the connection between them vibrant and alive. The door opened to reveal a beaming smile, and there in that moment, nothing else existed, their joy wrapped around them like a warm blanket, grounding them in simple presence. As they settled onto the porch, the cups cradled in their hands, Ilara shared the stories of her garden, the herbs that brought them to this moment, while laughter danced like fireflies in the encroaching twilight. The moment stretched, expansive and rich, as they savored not only the taste of the tea but the sweetness of the connection, a reminder that in every shared moment, life unfolds like petals in bloom. As the evening settled around them, underscored by a gentle symphony of cicadas, Ilara felt the unfolding of time itself, an invitation to appreciate every moment lived, no matter how ordinary. With each sip of tea, each shared story, with the wind weaving through the trees, she understood, within each act of being, there lies the profound, the beautiful, the sacred, the timeless gift of simply being here. And with this, she embraced the stillness within a world that forever beckoned her to dance. Breathe in softly. feeling the air fill your lungs, steady and serene. It is here, in this moment, that you are invited to let go of the past and the future. Feel the support of the ground beneath you, the gentle embrace of the present. Let your thoughts come and go, like leaves on a tranquil stream, allowing them to drift away as you settle into a space of calm awareness. Listen to the subtle sounds around you, perhaps the distant hum of life or the soft rustle of leaves. Let it all guide you into yourself for a brief still point amidst the whirl of existence. In a humble kitchen, sunlight filters through the window, casting playful shadows on the worn wooden countertop. A soft breeze wafts through the screen, carrying with it the scent of blooming lilacs from the garden outside. The world outside hums with life, but within these four walls, there is a comforting stillness. Here, the delicate ritual of washing dishes unfolds, a serene dance of hands and water. The sink, a basin of warm, soapy water, is inviting, the surface rippling gently with the movements of a mindful embrace. As the clock quietly ticks away, each second stretching into the next, you turn toward the first dish, a humble bowl, perhaps chipped at the edge but filled with stories of evenings shared. You lift it with both hands, feeling the cool porcelain against your skin. As you lower the bowl into the soapy water, there is a moment of suspension, a brief pause, where you might sense the glisten of bubbles forming, drifting like tiny orbs of possibility. The water swirls around, caressing the bowl, whispering to it, reminding you of the beauty within even the simplest task. You close your eyes for a fraction of a heartbeat, feeling the warmth of the water enveloping your hands, a gentle reminder of belonging to this moment. The sound of water, a soft gurgle, a gentle splashing fills the air like a heartbeat, a soothing melody that accompanies you as you scrub the surface of the dish. Here, you engage all your senses. The textured sponge glides over the ceramics, making a soft scritch-scratch sound that echoes in the quiet space. You feel the weight of the bowl in your hands, a physical connection, a reminder of all that has nourished you. Thoughts may arise, a fleeting worry about the tasks ahead, a fleeting reflection on the day. Instead of pushing them away, like clouds passing through an open sky, you allow them to drift. You bring your attention back to the dish, each stroke a practice in grounding, each drop of water a reminder of the present. As you rinse the bowl, the water cascades down in a clear, sparkling stream, shimmering like diamonds in the golden sunlight. You watch as droplets dance, each one unique, yet all part of the same flow. There is beauty in this moment, and you begin to appreciate not just the act of cleaning, but the miracle of water itself, its ability to cleanse, to refresh, to be both a source for growth and a part of the cycle of life. With each dish you wash, a story unfolds: the chipped mug from a favorite cafe, where laughter once echoed; the plate that held Sunday morning pancakes, warm and syrupy; the glass that has felt the warmth of a friend's reassuring grip. Every object carries a memory, a sliver of joy, and in this fluid moment of consciousness, you realize that washing these dishes has become an act of gratitude. You honor not only the objects but also the moments they have held, moments you can choose to cherish without judgment or haste. The clock continues to tick, yet it no longer matters. Time bends and elongates. You find beauty in this rhythmic experience of caring for what surrounds you. The room remains quiet, save for the continuous serenade of water, the soft sounds of your own breath, and the gentle clink of plate upon plate as they join the others in neat alignment on the drying rack. You explore the sensation of water on your skin, warm and inviting. As you rinse away the soap, it feels like a gentle caress, washing over any residual tension and leaving it to swirl down the drain. In this practice, you can feel the liberation of letting go. Dishes are no longer simply dishes, but rather vessels of connection to your experiences. You savor each moment, watching your hands move with intention. There is a grace here, a quiet elegance in the mundane. Each flick of the sponge becomes a meditation, each dish a canvas upon which your mindfulness paints gently, a loving reminder of being alive. The act of washing, once mundane, transforms into a tender connection to the self, a way of touching the essence of daily life. Suddenly, a drop of water rolls off your finger, glistening before it meets the surface of the sink. It makes a quiet, splashing sound, like a soft echo against the porcelain. This singular drop encapsulates everything: the cycle of life, the cleansing of spirit, the embrace of the moment. You pause, feeling the reverberation of that sound ripple through you, amplifying the stillness around. As you reach the final dish, a solitary fork that had seen both laughter and tears, you recognize this too, as a part of your journey, a piece of the tapestry of your existence. A bond has been crafted with each passing moment shared in this small sanctuary of your home. With one last look at the neatly arranged dishes, a gentle smile spreads across your face. You take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with gratitude and exhaling any remnants of distraction. You notice the light filtering through the window, now casting a warm glow across the room. It shimmers against the white of the dishes, illuminating them like small treasures on display. This moment, this space, belongs to you. It is a reminder that mindfulness can bloom even amidst the ordinary, that being present can transform every act into a celebration of life itself. As you step away from the sink, you find your mind quieter, your heart fuller. The world outside might pulse with activity, but within, there is peace and unmistakable stillness cultivated in the act of washing. Each movement brought you closer to the essence of being alive, to the gentle cadence of the moment. Your senses awaken, and you carry this calm onward into the world, knowing that you can return to this whisper of water, this sanctuary of presence, anytime you wish. In the simple act of being, you find everything you need: connection, gratitude, and a deep awareness that here, in this moment, you are perfectly whole. Take a deep breath in. Feel the inhale fill your belly, and then slowly let it go. Not trying to fix anything, not trying to change, just allowing what is not to be. Let yourself settle, like a piece of cotton drifting down through still air. Now picture yourself in a quiet room, with warm laundry fresh from the line or the machine, and time slowing just enough to feel every crease, every fold, every breath. Anna sat cross-legged on the floor beside a small pile of clean clothes. The light through the window was soft, not dramatic, just steady. The kind of light that asks for nothing, yet holds you gently. She had just brought in the laundry still warm from the midday sun. A few shirts, some socks, 2 pairs of jeans. Nothing urgent. She sighed. Not a tired sigh, but a releasing one, the kind that says, "I'm here." With quiet hands, she reached for the first shirt. The fabric was warm against her palms. There was still a faint scent of soap, not strong, just enough to remember. She smoothed the cloth across her thighs, folded one sleeve inward, then the other. She didn't rush. She noticed how her fingers moved, almost like a dancer, but slower, without choreography. Each fold became its own breath. Inhale, gather. Exhale, press, crease, rest. She felt the texture of the cotton, the edge of the seams, the way the shirt slowly transformed from something worn into something ready. Thoughts drifted in, as they always do. An email unanswered. A friend she hadn't seen in months. The question she kept avoiding. But she didn't chase them. She simply placed them down like a sock beside its pair. Her hands moved on. A towel now, its surface slightly rougher. She noticed how her breath had become part of the process. How silence didn't feel empty, but full. The room felt still, yet alive. Outside, a bird chirped, sharp and singular, then gone. Anna paused with a pair of pants in her lap. She looked out the window. The wind moved the curtain, just barely. She folded the pants gently, not because they were delicate, but because she was. Sometimes healing doesn't arrive in therapy rooms, or mountaintops, or grand awakenings. Sometimes it arrives in a pile of clean laundry, in the way a shirt folds itself quietly into shape, in the warmth that lingers after sunlight or spin cycles, in your own 2 hands, doing something small, with complete presence. There is no right way to fold a towel. There is no perfect crease. Only this moment, and the next, and the next, stacked like folded clothes, in neat, soft, and full of life. Let yourself arrive. Let the breath flow in unforced, unhurried. And as it leaves, feel the day soften its grip on you. No need to solve anything now. No fixing. No striving. Just be here, with this breath, this body, at this unfolding moment. Now imagine yourself by a lake, with time stretched open before you, and the quiet company of your own presence. It was late afternoon when Daniel found himself standing at the edge of the lake. The sky was overcast, and the soft gray clouds moving like thoughts across a pale mind. He had come without a plan. No phone, no playlist, just a jacket, walking shoes, and something inside that needed space. The gravel path curved gently along the water. He took his first step. The crunch underfoot, a subtle rhythm. The air smelled faintly of wet leaves and distant pine. He walked slowly, not because he was tired, but because there was no reason to hurry. The world wasn't asking anything of him right now. He passed a bench, empty, and noticed a ripple in the water near the reeds. A duck, maybe? Or just the wind. He kept walking. Each breath began to settle into place, like a leaf finally landing on the surface of still water. He felt his shoulders ease, his chest soften. Even his jaw, clenched from a week of unsaid words, began to loosen. As the lake mirrored the sky, gray, open, calm, his thoughts continued to come and go. A conversation that had gone wrong, an email he had delayed sending, a memory from childhood, the scent of his mother's kitchen on rainy days. He didn't fight them. It didn't follow. Just noticed, like birds gliding above the surface, touching, never sinking. The wind picked up slightly. He pulled his jacket tighter, but kept walking. There was something sacred about this silence. Not emptiness, but fullness without noise. A man passed by on a bicycle. They nodded to each other. Brief connection. There's no words. Daniel reached the far end of the lake, where the path narrowed and curved inward. He stopped. The water was especially still here, as if listening. He took a breath, slow, deep, deliberate. And in that moment, he realized he had not been walking to get somewhere. He had been walking to meet himself. Sometimes, the most important conversations are the ones we have in silence, with wind and water and our own breath. The lake does not judge. The trees do not hurry you along. They simply witness. As you remember that presence is not about perfection, but about allowing the noise to quiet, allowing the self to soften, allowing the world to be just as it is. You can walk the same path tomorrow, and it will be a new journey, because stillness is never the same twice, and neither are you. Breathe in, breathe out, and carry the lake inside you, wherever you go next. Inhale, slowly, as if you were drawing in the warmth of something just steeped. Exhale gently, like steam rising and disappearing into stillness. You don't need to think. You don't need to prepare. Just pause. Now imagine this. You're holding a teapot. The water is hot. The cup waits patiently. And as you pour, the steam rises, all soft, rising, gone. And something in you rises too. The kitchen was quiet. A soft, almost sacred kind of quiet. No clatter, no hum. Just the sound of water finding stillness in the kettle. Lena stood by the counter, hands wrapped gently around the ceramic teapot. It was simple white, unadorned, warm to the touch. She lifted it slowly, carefully, the way you lift something you respect. The mug below was already waiting, wide-mouthed, open, ready to receive. She tilted the pot. The stream flowed in, clear, steady, and then the steam. It rose instantly, a soft cloud curling upward, dancing in no particular direction. It twisted, and lifted, and disappeared. She followed it with her eyes. Didn't try to hold it. Didn't try to name it. She just watched. The steam made the air around her visible. It gave shape to warmth, to motion, to time. Every swirl was different. No two moments repeated. And somehow, that felt comforting. She took a slow breath. The scent of tea, earthy, floral, filled her nose, filled her chest, filled the moment. The cup was nearly full now. She straightened the pot, placed it back on the counter, and cradled the mug in both hands. Not drinking, not yet. Just being, with the heat, with the scent, with the memory that steam had already carried away. Steam never clings to the air. It rises, it sways, it disappears. And in watching it, we learn how to let go of what was never meant to stay. Pouring tea is not just a task. It's an invitation to breathe, to soften, to return. So next time you pour a cup, don't rush the moment. Watch the steam. Let it teach you how to rise, how to drift, how to let the moment go without needing to hold it. Because sometimes, and the most meaningful part of the ritual is what you never get to touch. Let's begin here wherever here is for you. Allow the body to settle. Perhaps you're sitting, perhaps lying down. There's no need to change anything. Just notice. Notice the way your breath moves in and out, like the soft rise and fall of waves on a quiet shoreline. Let go of the need to go anywhere else, or to become anything more than what you are right now. You are enough here, in this breath, in this moment. This is a story about tea. But more than that, it's about how we meet each moment. How the ordinary, when seen clearly, becomes a gateway to stillness. The day was unremarkable. Gray, a little cold, the kind of weather that makes people talk about nothing just to feel less alone in it. Elliot had been feeling the weight of everything and nothing. A restlessness, a tiredness that sleep didn't touch. The kind of tiredness that hummed beneath the surface of things in inboxes, unwashed dishes, unread texts. He stood in the small kitchen of his apartment, barefoot on the cool tile floor. The light from the window was muted, more suggestion than illumination. The kettle sat on the stove, old and familiar. He reached for it, filled it with water, and set it back down. The clink of metal meeting the burner was oddly satisfying. A match struck, flame, the hiss of gas meeting fire. As the kettle began to heat, Elliot found himself doing something he hadn't done in a while. Nothing. He stood there. Not scrolling, not planning, not trying to fix anything. Just standing. And slowly, the kitchen began to reveal itself. The hum of the refrigerator. So constant it had disappeared until now. The soft creak of the wooden cupboard door as it settled in its hinge. His own breath, audible now, moving through his nose, expanding into his chest and leaving again softer than it came. The kettle began to murmur. That quiet, early sound water makes when it's not quite boiling, like a whisper rising from deep within the metal belly of the pot. Elliot watched the steam start to unfurl. It curled upward in graceful spirals, dissipating before it reached the ceiling. There was something tender about it, like watching someone exhale into the winter air. His thoughts came, as they always did. He remembered the email he hadn't answered, the friend he hadn't called back, the moment last week when he spoke too harshly and wished, now, that he hadn't. But instead of diving into those thoughts, he noticed them, like cars passing on a road he was no longer standing in. And then the whistle, the high, keening call of the kettle, when it could no longer contain its own energy. It startled him, gently, a reminder that things continue whether or not we notice them. He turned off the burner, poured the hot water over a waiting tea bag, and watched as the color began to bleed outward. At first faint, then richer, deeper. He sat at the small table by the window, cradling the warm cup in both hands. The mug radiated heat into his palms. He noticed the texture of the ceramic, smooth but not perfectly so. He brought it to his lips and sipped. The tea was too hot, but not unpleasantly so. The warmth spread down into his chest. Outside, a bird landed on the railing, looked around, then took off again. Elliot took another sip, then another, not rushing, not needing to get through the cup, just being with it. There was no epiphany, no sudden burst of joy or insight, only the quiet, only the tea, only the breath. And for the first time in a long time, that was enough. Sometimes, healing isn't loud. Sometimes, peace doesn't arrive in grand moments, but in a kettle's whistle, the warmth of a mug, the breath you didn't know you were holding. You don't need to strive for it. You don't need to chase it down. It's already here. In this breath, in this sip, in this stillness. And now, you know how to return. Just begin again. Let your breath soften. Let your body be as it is. You don't need to straighten it. You don't need to prepare for anything. Just settle. Now, imagine this. You step outside, and instead of shoes, you let your bare feet meet the earth, the cool, living grass. You sit down, and you stay. It was late afternoon, the kind of day when the sun had begun to lean sideways, casting long golden arms across everything it touched. No plans, no calls, just a quiet ache inside Ella, the kind that said, "Pause here." So she stepped out the back door. The lawn was uneven, speckled with clover and patches of soft weeds. Perfect. She sat down slowly. Let her hands rest behind her. Let her legs extend forward. Let her bare feet sink gently into the grass. The first sensation was cool, not cold, just grounding. Blades of grass pressed against her soles, and bent slightly under her heels, tickled the space between her toes. She didn't move, didn't shift, just let her feet arrive. There was no noise, but everything was alive. A breeze passed, rustling the leaves like breath through a flute. A bird chirped once, then twice, then was silent again. Her eyes remained soft, half-lidded, not focused. The ground beneath her didn't ask anything, didn't demand joy, or gratitude, or peace. It simply offered contact. She curled her toes slightly, felt the grass respond. She pressed her feet down, felt the earth receive her. No judgment, no agenda, just this quiet conversation between body and land. She took a deep breath, felt it travel all the way down, as if her lungs reached into the soil. The tension she hadn't noticed, in her jaw, in her spine, in her chest, slowly unknotted itself. Not because she was trying, but because something older than her, it was helping her let go. Sometimes, the simplest act of placing skin to earth becomes the most honest return. The ground does not ask for performance. It does not require belief. It only invites presence. To sit, to feel, to remember that you are a body, and not just a mind. And when you leave that patch of grass, as your feet may be dirty, but your soul will be clean. So whenever you can, take off your shoes. Let the earth meet you. Let the grass hold you. Let your feet remember what your heart never forgot. You belong here. In the stillness of the day, as the sun dips toward the horizon, we find ourselves standing at the threshold of a moment. Breathe in softly and allow the air to fill your lungs, gently reminding you of the life coursing through you. Just as the trees sway softly in the breeze and the clouds drift lazily across the sky, invite your mind to settle into the present. There is a quiet beauty waiting to be found in the simplest of tasks, a gentle pulse of existence that we often overlook. Together, let us immerse ourselves in the soothing embrace of an ordinary experience, inviting the senses to awaken and guide us to a deeper awareness. In a sunlit kitchen, Teeming with the faint warmth of a late afternoon, a woman stands before a basin of waiting dishes. The world is a symphony of sounds. The soft hum of the refrigerator, the distant chatter of the neighborhood children, and the occasional call of a bird, weaving through the fabric of the moment. Each noise a reminder that life thrums around her, vibrant and ever-present. She draws closer to the sink, the coolness of the porcelain grounding her as she leans in. With a gentle sigh, she turns on the tap, and the water cascades forward, a shimmering curtain that glistens like diamonds under the sun. The sound of the rushing water is music, a gentle invitation to focus her mind. As it splashes against the bottom of the sink, let it wash away the busyness of her thoughts. The woman reaches for a plate, a vessel that has held countless meals, laughter, and stories. As she lifts it from the stack, it feels familiar in her hands, the smooth surface warm with the memory of nourishment. She pauses for a moment, noticing the subtle textures, the way the light dances across its surface. In this moment, she acknowledges the journey of this plate, from creation to the shared moments of communion around a table. With her sponge in hand, she begins to scrub. The scent of the warm, soapy water envelops her, filling her senses with a flicker of joy. Each stroke against the plate is deliberate, a reminder that the present moment is rich and layered. She observes the small bubbles that form and float away, tiny orbs of joy that drift ever so gently, reflecting the light. Time seems to stretch as she loses herself in the rhythm of washing. As she moves to the next dish, her mind wanders briefly to the day's events, the conversations, the laughter, the little challenges faced. A soft breeze flutters through the window, reminding her of the beauty of the ordinary. She brings her attention back to the present, noticing the sensation of the water on her skin, warm yet refreshing. Each drop is a connection, a reminder of the flow of life. The plates begin to stack neatly beside her, glistening with promise. She feels a sense of accomplishment, but more importantly, a sense of presence. Each dish washed is another moment cherished, another memory put to rest. She pauses again, taking a breath, allowing herself to be swept away in the soothing rhythm of her actions. The sound of laughter from outside bursts into the kitchen, a reminder that life continues beyond her little sanctuary. Her heart swells with gratitude for those fleeting moments of joy shared with others. She savors this connection, holding it gently in her awareness as she moves onto the cups and utensils, each item telling its own story, each one deserving of her presence. With every scrub and rinse, she allows thoughts to come and go, acknowledging them without judgment. They are like the bubbles she observes, appearing briefly before drifting away. She realizes she has a choice to be present, to welcome whatever arises, and simply to wash. There is a whisper of acceptance, a gentle recognition that it is enough to merely be here, now. After a while, the sink grows emptier, the mundane task becoming a meditative journey. The woman notices the water's temperature shifts slightly. The coolness invites her to be aware of the sensations it is invigorating. She chuckles softly to herself as she thinks of how easily we forget to enjoy simple moments, how we often rush through tasks rather than savoring them. In this small act, she has discovered a universe of mindfulness. As she finishes washing the last few dishes, there is a heaviness in her heart, a sense of loss, yet also a deep contentment. She wipes her hands on a towel, feeling the texture against her skin, the soft fabric that absorbs not only moisture but also the remnants of her thoughts and distractions. With each cleansing motion, she lets go of the day, allowing it to slip away like water running through her fingers. Looking out the window, she notices the sun beginning to set, painting the sky with hues of pink and gold. The world outside is alive with vibrant colors, reflections of the beauty within. She takes a moment, breathing deeply, letting the sight of it wash over her. It is a breathtaking reminder that every day offers its own palette of experiences, waiting to be engaged with, to be cherished. In that moment, she understands this simple act of washing dishes was never just about cleanliness or chores. It became a reflection of her life, a reminder of the importance of being present, of finding peace in the ordinary, of embracing each moment with open arms. Each dish, each drop of water, an invitation to live fully, to find joy in the simplest of acts. As the sun sinks lower, casting its golden light upon the world, the woman stands in her kitchen, heart full, mind quiet, and spirit at ease. She is reminded that it is in the ordinary where we often discover the extraordinary. With a gentle smile, She recognizes the beauty of the present moment, grounded in the warmth of her experiences, and she knows that in every day, there will always be a whisper of water, waiting to be heard. Take a breath, a slow one, the kind that reaches places you haven't touched all day. Let your shoulders drop. Let your mind loosen its grip. You don't have to remember everything right now. Just feel. Now imagine this. You're sitting in a quiet room. A box of old photographs is open in front of you, and your hands, steady, slow, are reaching for a moment that once lived. The room was still. Afternoon light pooled across the floor, thick with dust and quiet. Marin sat cross-legged beside an old box. The cardboard was worn, edges soft like fabric, untaped and retaped over the years. She opened the lid. It made no sound, but something inside her stirred, as if memory had been waiting to exhale. Inside were photographs, stacks of them, some glossy, some faded, and dual bent slightly from time. She reached for one, held it delicately at the edges, as though touching it too quickly might erase it. A family picnic, laughter caught mid-motion, a shirt she hadn't seen in decades, a tree that might not exist anymore. Her fingers traced the image, not to understand it, just to be with it. The paper was soft and cool. The corner curled slightly. There was a crease down the middle, where someone had once folded it to carry in a wallet, or maybe to keep close in a drawer. She looked slowly, noticing the background, shadows, sky, distant faces, not trying to remember, just witnessing. The next photo, a younger version of herself, standing near a fountain, her hair wild, her eyes not looking at the camera, but at something just out of frame. She smiled, not at the image, but at the person she used to be, and how she still lived quietly inside her. She let her finger glide across the photograph, a gesture of presence, of return. She sat like that for a long time, photo by photo, breath by breath, not to dwell in the past, but to hold it gently, like something sacred, something still alive in the now. Photographs don't trap time. They invite it. They say, here, just feel this again. Not with the mind, but with the body. And when your fingers trace what once was, you don't go backward. You go deeper. So the next time you find yourself with an old image between your hands, don't rush. Let the silence speak. Let the memory breathe. Let your touch become a soft yes to everything that brought you here. And know this, you are not remembering. You are returning.